and some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. Plus a family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous, cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and woo. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits. Yeah.
Second round and I am first. It's amazing. I am feeling it's very amazing.
أشكر الجمعية العمانية على البطولة هاي الرائعة اللي بيعملوها بالشرق الأوسط وبيعطونا الفرصة لنقدر ننافس مع أبطال العالم وأبطال الشرق الأوسط. استنونا بالجولة الثالثة وإن شاء الله نجيب المركز الأول.
Round 3, see you soon.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know I'm the man. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, never coming for the bad. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 3 of the 2022 Oman International Drift Championship. My name is Ian Waddington, and you're joining us live in Muscat, ready for action.
مرحبا بعشاق رياضة المحركات، أهلا وسهلا بكم في هذا النقل الحي والمباشر للجولة الثالثة والأخيرة من بطولة عمان للإنجراف. معكم حبيب الزواوي، وسأكون معكم على التعليق باللغة العربية برفقة زميلي يان.
So there we go, we're almost ready to kick off qualifying, but tonight we're going to bring you qualifying live. Why? Well, because this time the championship is super tight. There's 3 guys in the running for it, and every single point counts.
إذن هذه الجولة الأخيرة راح تكون بالفعل يعني نشوف احنا جولة بعد جولة انه الحلبة تصير أصعب من أكثر. هذه الجولة اليوم رسمها تكنيك كثير وبالتالي فيها صعوبة كثير على جميع المتسابقين ال60 المشاركين في هذه الجولة.
So a quick word about the track. It's a similar initiation and entry to what it was at round 2, the same corner and the same wall run. This time we have a different transition. Guys are going to go the opposite way around the track to that wall run, and then they're going to switch back and go back opposite way towards the wall. It's tight, it's technical, and it's very, very fast.
إذا مثل ما ذكر زميليان أنه هذه الجولة أنه هذه تصميم هذه المسار لهذه الجولة أصعب بكثير لأنه تقريبا مثل ما صارت في الجولة الماضية، بس اليوم طبعا راح يكون فيها تغيير الاتجاه بشكل أسرع وبالتالي هناك عند الجدار مثل ما ذكرنا راح تكون فيها صعوبة كثيرة على كل المتسابقين.
Well, that's pretty much it from us down here on the track. We're going to head to the commentary tower. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Let's see how qualifying plays out.
إذا خلكم معنا متابعين معايان باللغة الإنجليزية في اليوتيوب ومعاي أنا حبيب باللغة العربية في الفيسبوك، وإن شاء الله تستمتعوا بجولة مثيرة بإذن الله تعالى.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shit on my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. Plus a family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo. Watch how I set it up, bet you I shut it down. Watch how I get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm aligned with the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah.
Second round and I am first. It's amazing. I am feeling it's very amazing.
نشكر الجمعية العمانية على البطولة هاي الرائعة اللي بيعملوها بالشرق الأوسط وبيعطونا الفرصة لننافس مع أبطال العالم وأبطال الشرق الأوسط. استنونا بالجولة الثالثة وإن شاء الله نجيب المركز الأول.
Round 3, see you soon.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on a roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a stream, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, never coming for the bad. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out.
Incredible tarmac pad. As I mentioned on the intro, slightly different to round 2. Same corner, same initiation, but instead of going across the track and running the wall one way, anti-clockwise, we're actually going to switch them back and run them clockwise. No messing around. Things are going to get hot and heavy here in Oman, so let's get underway with the action. And up first should be car number 63. So it won't be car number 63, doesn't manage to get to the line. It will be car number 33 instead. It will be a Turkey Alzir in this incredible Nissan 200SX S14.5. V8 underneath the bonnet, Chevrolet V8. And an incredible build. And there we go, under the lights, sunset here in Muscat. The lights are on and the cars and drivers are ready to rock and roll. 6.3 litre LS3. Underneath the bonnet. What can he do? Been looking good in practice. A lot of drivers saying that this new addition to the championship looking strong. And we await for our judges to be prepared, and then we will send them off the start line for his first qualifying run. So here we go, and we'll walk you through tonight's track. Same initiation, same style as what we wanted from round 1. As you can see, nice little wander across the track, stays within that left-hand side. Full throttle on this acceleration zone, has to keep that rear wheel as close to that white line as possible. Nice line so far. Not all the way in it, but as deep as he would like to get on his first qualifying run. Now, nice fast transition. Not too snappy. Picks up that front clipping point now. A little decel zone up to that wall. Decel's a little bit too soon there. As you can see, still off throttle as he picks up that second inner clipping point. Transitions back across the track once again. Goes a little wide. Going to drop a wheel off the edge of the circuit. Puts a strange arc on that run as he gets into that outside zone and across the line. And a safe first qualifying run there for Turkey Alzir. So what are the changes for you guys that watched round 2? Well, you'll figure that one out very, very quickly. For you guys that are just tuning in for the first time this year, where have you been? Here we go. Look at this as he comes off that full throttle zone, transitions across the track, picks up that front clipping point. Now, should stay on throttle. Judges asking the drivers to use the car on angle to slow it down rather than using the handbrake or foot brake, but it is a decel zone, so if preferred they can use the foot brake or the handbrake, slow the car down, and they transition back, pick up the second inner clipping point, back up onto the wall and across the line. Here we go. Samir Sabeh up next in this incredible BMW E36. Oh, it looked like a little issue there, little waver. Now, judges won't like that too much. They wanted these guys to keep a clean run into that first outside zone. And you can see right now, Sabir out of that first zone. That's going to make things pretty difficult for him as he transitions back. They pick up that front clipping point, relatively easy to do when you're offline especially. And you can see now Sabir struggling to get back on that qualifying line. Transitions back. Going to go a little bit wide here. Now he's going to fall short ever so slightly. And then off track, wheels over the edge of that line, falls out the outside zone. That will be a very poor score there for Sabir. So this is what I'm talking about. Judges wanted the drivers to run in, fall through the gears, a little waver across the circuit, flick it into that first outside zone. Nice snappy initiation, unfortunately, there for Samir. Just couldn't get it done. And you can see that rear wheel just on the outside line. So that will be -5 points, I do believe, for most of that outside zone. A wheel dropped from what the judges were describing in the briefing. And as I mentioned, fairly easy, relatively easy to pick up those front clipping points, especially if you are offline. The way you get to it, though, is not the way the judges want you to. So that will be a very poor score for his first qualifying run. Another one to get it done, just 2 runs each in qualifying. We move things along for Abdullah Al-Amari. And Abdullah Al-Mamari in this 2JZ Nissan 200SX S13. Absolutely beating the rev limit. And look at this. This is what they wanted. Little waver across the track. Fortunately, fails to get to angle. And I do believe that he's been having clutch or driveline issues in this car this afternoon. And hasn't, by the looks of things, managed to get it fixed. As you can see, prolonged amount of straightening. You can see the sparks underneath the car when he's clutch kicking it. Wheels dropped on the inside of the circuit. And he shuts the run down. And Willie abort it. And yeah, you can see him looking down towards the gear selector. Potentially now broken the transmission. And here we go. Could be our first breakdown of the evening. Car number 37, Abdullah Al-Mamari. So I'm going to wait to find out. Yep, door open, car off. So we will require recovery for that car. Yeah, I did notice sparks from underneath the car on one of the transitions where he tried to clutch kick it potentially. Was it on the next one maybe? Maybe it was here. Yeah, look at that. Sparks from underneath the car. Wonder if that is the clutch. The last of the clutch plates destroying themselves, or that was maybe the gearbox giving up. Well, there we go. Heavy stacked grid once again. 63 cars this evening ready to go head to head. In the intro, we briefly brushed over the fact that this championship is the tightest it's potentially ever been. And I'll explain why. Because there are 4 guys that are all fighting for that top spot on the championship. But current points and championship leader is the Lithuanian Benediktas Cherba. Closely behind him, Steve Bagsy Biagioni, Clint Van Oort from the Netherlands, then Ahmed Daham from Jordan. So a very, very close battle to decide the championship, and all the points count tonight. Top 3 qualifiers do get extra points for qualifying. That will help them out, and obviously deciding where their position is in the top 32 battles. For Benediktas Cherba, he wants to be way up there and have a nice easy ride into the final. Well, for Bagsy, he's hoping that Cherba scores poor and doesn't have an easy ride, but Benediktas Cherba hasn't been the best in qualifying. Struggled today. I only see him out on track twice, so we'll find out what's going on there. Mohammed Al-Abri should be next up online in that 300 performance Nissan 350Z, and he's sent back to warm up the tyres after that little wait. So Alabri. As you can hear and see, 3.5 litres of 2JZ Toyota goodness underneath the bonnet, with plenty of anti-lag and plenty of flames. And there we go, he gets the thumbs up, and off the line goes Alabri. As you can see, the external wastegate banging out underneath the car, flames licking the tarmac. Nice initiation, he's gone very wide, and that is 4 wheels off track. He takes out the sign, and he gets himself into the wall. And he's made a real mess of the back end of that 350Z, but it does look like he can get it off track himself. Track conditions obviously changing from qualifying, from practice, and Alabri says, well, if there's still wheels on the train, I'm going to try and get it home. And here we go, he's going to try and finish up the run. Obviously you guys, hardened drift fans, will know that 4 wheels off the circuit will be a 0. So it doesn't matter now what Alabri does. Oh, well, he's beaded a tyre as well. And it seems to be all going wrong this evening for Mohammed Abdullah, sorry, Mohammed Alabri. Look at that, tyre completely off the rim, stuck on the inside of the suspension. Let's see where it all went wrong. All the enthusiasm, all of the courage. Nice big flick across the circuit. Unfortunately, tyres couldn't hold on to it. He got on the dust, and that sent him straight into the barrier. So there we go, you can see he decides to have a little bit of fun, try and finish off the run, but does de-lam that tyre a bit. It's on this transition from what I can see as the car transitions all the way onto that inside tyre. Just breaks the bead, yeah, see that big wobble there, and then he realises I have no tyre. Keeps on going. Tyre decides to pop to the inside of the rim. And that is that for Alabri. So it will be a 0 on his first qualifying run. So unfortunately didn't see this guy in competition at round 2. This incredible BMW E30. 1JZ underneath the bonnet. BMW E30 from the Jordan, a la Quamaz. So track staff just waiting to see if the track is all clear, and we are ready to send Ala. So here we go. Starlight Marshall makes his way back to the line after making sure that Alabri gets off the circuit safely. And he radios up to the control tower to make sure judges and everybody is ready to rock and roll. So this is the first runs of their qualifying. They do obviously get 2 runs in qualifying. Best score counts towards the top 32. And as I mentioned earlier, top 32, hot and heavy, tight tomorrow. All of the points count for every single driver. And Ala Quamez now awaits his run down the gauntlet. Here we go, thumbs up, ready to go. Ala off the line. Lime green BMW E30. Can he slide himself into the limelight tonight? We'll see. Nice initiation deep into the outside zone. Carries a lot of speed. Drops off the track. 4 wheels off. That will be a 0, unfortunately. And I hate to break the news to him, but we require all of these guys to stay 4 wheels in the circuit. Let's pick up that front clipping point. But this now is just for the kudos, just to get himself round, maybe feel out the track, see how the grip is. Very well done on that transition. Timed it right, slowed the car down just enough. Maybe just a little bit too much. Falls out of that outside zone, gets himself across the line. But unfortunately, that initiation once again proving to be a little more difficult And what our drivers estimated, as you can see, 4 wheels clearly off the outside edge of the circuit. That yellow line does denote off track. So bear that one in mind. If you see a car on the yellow line that is off track, they will be deducted quite a lot of points. 2 wheels off will be points deducted, 3 wheels off even more points deducted, 4 wheels off will score a 0. So we'll spinning and a prolonged amount of straightening. So there we go. Allah takes his way off the circuit and we await to see the next contestant into the start line. So, not sure what the hold-up is down there on the back end of the grid. As you can see, no one in that tyre warming area from what I can see here. And I have got my glasses on tonight, so no messing around. And it will be Nassar Abshihaba. I'm going to struggle to say this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a long day already here in Oman. And we wait till we go under the lights. Oh, and it does look like a broken down car. So that will be a 0 straight away for Mazar. And that's a shame. Incredible car, incredible build. Full carbon fibre Nissan 370Z with a Chevrolet V8 underneath the bonnet. And car number 26 fails to score on his first qualifying run. Doesn't make it to the line. Drivers were warned in the briefing, if they do not get in the line in the correct numerical order, in the correct numerical order in championship points, they missed their spot, they missed their go. That is the rules, and it is as black and white as that. We move it back to the grid to see yet again another 370Z, and this time it will be Zaya Al-Shakshi. Shakshi, it's a very, very clean looking Nissan 370Z. Warms up the tyres, gets himself quickly to the line. So clean, it almost looks like a road car. 1JZ underneath the bonnet. And the local driver looking to score points in the national championship as well as the OIDC. So Shaxi representing Oman, having trouble with this car today as well. Another guy struggling. Looked like they had the prop shaft off of it earlier, maybe a clutch issue again. We did witness this guy doing a little bit of practice last Sunday. There was an open practice session on the old round 2 layout, and he once again had a few issues there. Team working on the car, they took the car away. Returned this morning for round 3. Have they got the issues fixed, or are they still plagued with problems? Off the line he comes through that chicane. All drivers will be leading their qualifying runs from that half of the track. Nice flick across the circuit. A little bit shallow. Dials on the angle though to get it in the outside zone. Oh, and just now starts to drop out. As you can see, straightens up the car. A little bit of understeer creeping in as he dials back on the angle again for the transition back across the track. Oh, and completely avoids that clipping point, washes off the circuit and destroys what was an immaculate back end on that 370Z. So tail lights, bumper, the whole show missing as he takes himself off circuit. So let's see where it all went wrong. Nice initiation. He was over that white line, so he would have lost points. You can see him just getting a wheel in, but he does dial it on, sticks the rear wheel in that outside zone. Lacks a little bit of commitment. You can see him off throttle there, hardly any tyre smoke. And gets himself back into it once again. And then by that point, it's too late. Misses that front clipping point and hits the wall. So So there we go. That will be another 0 for Zaya Al-Shakshi. We go back to the start line to Beckett Al-Harji. Sorry, Beckett Al-Hajri. Representing Kuwait. 2JZ under the bonnet, another 350Z. Very popular chassis out here in the Middle East. And I'm not sure what the notes are saying on the screen, but my notes that I took personally the other day, and from what I can see with my eyes, that is not a 2JZ. That is definitely a Chevrolet V8. So just go back through my notes to bring you exactly what it is for you guys at home that are interested. Yep, so LS3 underneath the bonnet, Chevrolet LS3. Just chilling out there, arm on the window, waiting for the track to be cleared up and wait for our marshals to get off the circuit and our start line marshal to make his way back to the line. So just a small tyre wall repair going on in the distance from when we're sitting. And then we'll get run one for Beckett Al-Hajri underway. Oh, as he kills the car, says, don't want to waste fuel. It's getting a little bit warm. Been a very, very warm day out here in Oman today. 27 degrees noted in the paddock. Air temperatures. And these guys were put through it in practice. And they'll be thankful. A little bit of breeze, a little bit of cool air today for qualifying. If you want to join us back here tomorrow for Top 32 action, we go live at 4 p.m. Myself and Habib will be out on the circuit, welcoming you back to Muscat for the final round of the 2022 OIDC, where we will crown our national, our MENA, which is our Middle East and North Africa champion, and of course our international drift champion. Here we go, off the line, Beckett in this blue 350Z through the gears he goes. LS3 screams underneath the bonnet. Nice line into outside zone 1. Full throttle, just dances with the devil there as he tries to keep the wheels on the inside of the circuit. Oh, when he falls out of the outside zone, a little nervous at the wall, pops a wheel on the inside as he looks for the transition back. Left it a little bit too late. Can he make it work? He can. He shallows up the angle. Now starts to dial it on. Picks up the outside zone, but he's going to go wide. Now he's going to struggle to pick up that front clipping point. He gets there, but it's scrappy as he transitions back. All he needs to do at the moment, though, is put a score on the board. Been a lot of nervous drivers. Can he make it count? He certainly can. Dials on the angle across the line. Nice run there from Beckett. So there we go. We can see where Beckett was losing and scoring points. Massive points deduction there as he avoids that outside clipping point. Just lacked a little bit of commitment as he got himself up to the wall. Nice transition, picks up that front clipping point very well, dials it back on angle, but then you can see judges saying as soon as they pick up that clipping point on the wall, they want to be cutting across the circuit mid-track, looking for that front clipping point, then the transition, let it wash out to this final outside zone, full throttle and across the line. No problems there for Beckett. We go back to the line. It is, of course, Ukraine's very own Dmitry Ilyuk, Monster Energy S14 Boss kitted VK56 twin turbo fire breathing monster. Pops into action, full throttle in the outside zone. Good commitment from Ilyuk as he looks to score some good points. 33rd place at round 2. Oh, avoids that front clipping point. You can see him on the brake for a long time, trying to get to the outside zone. Looks scrappy from Ilyuk at the moment. Back on throttle once again. 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, destroying the tyres as Ilyuk gets himself in and against the wall. Nice job from Ilyuk at the end of that run. So there we go. Ilyuk looking tidy in that first outside zone. Big commitment. You can see the wavering though on the front wheels. Judges will be taking some points away. They're not as deep as what they'd like to see him either. Kind of mistimes his transition a little bit. You can see he has to work to get the car back online. Then it kind of puts him on the wrong line to get to that outside zone. Struggles to pick up this front clipping point, and then this transition here, perfectly timed, because he sets himself up nicely for this outside zone. Could have been down a little bit deeper, but nevertheless, splitting hairs. He gets himself into it and across the line. So we go back to the line. It's going to be Hamid Al Hajiri. Beautiful Nissan 200SX S15. 1JZ underneath the bonnet. And Algeri waiting for those thumbs up. We're just going to wait for the smoke to clear from Dimitri Ilyik's run. So off the line comes Hajiri. Nice initiation, but failed to get on throttle early enough to keep it in that outside zone. Now finds a commitment, looking tidy. Again, lacking a little bit of that commitment. Drops a wheel on the outside. Now this is going to really mess up this transition. This is going to put him really out of that front clipping point, and it does. It's going to get him to the wall too early. Washes away. Now he's going to struggle to pick up this front clipping point, and you can see how detrimental it is to stay on that qualifying line. I want his four wheels on the inside edge of the circuit, and I'm almost going to be as brash as saying, from my own opinion, that is a 0. So let's take a look back for where it all went wrong. Nice initiation, good flick, good snap to angle. See where he's off throttle, lacked that commitment. Could have got himself into the outside zone a little earlier. Apart from that, stays in it, washes away a little bit early. But this drops a wheel over, leaves the transition super late, and then watch how far it puts him off that front clipping point. Gets to the wall super early, look, on and away from that wall run. Misses that front clipping point and then dials on the angle. Transitions too early, finds himself on the inside, the car washes, drops wheels, he gets himself back into it. And across the line. There we go, IS 200 off the line. It is Azhar, Tala bin Azhar, the Prince of Pakistan as he's been named. Oh, big mistake. Out of the outside zone, wanders back into it. Created a funny arc as he makes his way to the wall. Yeah, just can't stay in it. Drops out of the outside zone once again. So transition too far on the inside. He's going to wash wide again. You can see that front wheel just grazing that box. Does pick up the outside zone on the wall. And he's going to pick up that front one. He's got himself back on a bit of a qualifying line here. As Hazard, as he puts foot to throttle and across the line, destroying the cone. So here we go. You can see him wandering in and out of that outside zone. Completely fails to get to that outside edge. Really on the inside for this transition, and then watch the effect it has as it pushes the car way to the outside edge of the circuit, and he had to keep committed to that to pick up that outside clipping point on the wall. Shortcut the circuit to get that front clipping point back on throttle. Transitions a little bit too late. He puts a wheel on the outside edge of the circuit, but does finish up the run, so it will be a score on the board. Aloid Zaki and Mahmoud now. And once again, another 1JZ powered Nissan 200SX. Incredible car. Took the spoiler off for this event. As you can see, there's the end plates on the bumper bar. Very, very clean looking road car. But Mahmoud uses it on the circuit. Said he was having problems with power at round 2. Did manage to qualify. Battled Bagsy in top 32, and the car just wouldn't come alive. You could see him in the background struggling. Once again, looks like the car just not reacting. Now starts to pick up a little tyre smoke. Nice line for outside zone 1 though. Stands on the accelerator, finds a little bit of confidence. Nice transition back. Just going to clip the wheel on the edge of that box. He's going to sacrifice that outside zone. It's going to wash him wide for this front clipping point. Starts to fall apart now for Mahmoud. Goes for the transition back. Gets himself into the outside zone. Tidy line towards the wall. Once again, the cone gets a beating as he crosses the line. Here we go. Very tidy line there. Probably the deepest we've seen anyone towards that wall. so far in qualifying. Nice transition back, but a little bit too late on the timing of the transition. You can see him, he just picked up his wheel on the edge of it. Now, judges wanted to see the wheel on the white line on the inside bumper hanging over the outside edge of the circuit, so that's how far you need to be in on those front clipping points. And there we go, finishes up the run. That will be a score on the board. We move to Japan for the next qualifying run of the day. It will be Tony Toyoshua Akai, aka Tony, in the Origin Labo kitted Nissan 200SX S15, or a little tentative on initiation, struggles to find himself in the outside zone. Now this is going to put him way off that qualifying line. Oh, and he's gone the wrong way. So Tony flicks the car the wrong way for the old layout, and then suddenly remembers, this is the way home. So Tony in Mamba, the Origin Labo kitted Nissan 200SX S15, beautiful looking car. Unfortunately for Tony there, massive mistake, doesn't get a score on the board. We move it back to the line. It will be Zarif. Nope, we go back. So we do go back to car number 26. Some wheels on the outside edge of the circuit. Nice line up into the wall, very close, tidy line there. And starts to get this one working, dialed in. Nice transition on the foot brake, picks up that front clipping point. This one coming out of nowhere right now. Very nice job on the outside zone. This one looking positive as he picks up that front zone. Nice transition. You can see him on the foot brake working that car into those zones. Nice line into outside zone. Just wanders, kicks it back in and across the line. There we go, car number 26. So that will be Mezar Abshaiba. Very nice initiation, nice line. Keep missing the beginning of it though, so don't beat me down too much if I did miss anything on the initiation. Very nice. So I'm going to say he scored on that run. Move it back to the start line to Zarif. And this 1JZ powered BMW E30. There we go, been practicing getting this car dialed in. They had a lot of issues. They worked on the car most of the week here at the circuit. Very nice, but he's put on big angle. It's an over rotation. So there we go. Zarif just going to finish up that run. Once again, another driver just taking the opportunity to try and calm their nerves, get themselves dialed in. So it will be a 0, unfortunately. You can see here, nice initiation. Could have been a foot wider to get full commitment. But here we go. Look, where does it go wrong? I think he just got a little bit too carried away. Yeah, dialed on too much angle as he come towards the wall. Could have stayed on that line, even maybe shallowed it up a little bit and would have got himself round and coming down towards that transition point. So there we go, another 0 on the board for Ala Zarif. And up next it should be car number 21, Sayud Al Atiyah. So it should be a Chevrolet V8 370Z. There we go on the line, and this man been looking quite confident, but nerves show in qualifying. All eyes on these drivers now. Sayud Al Atiyah. Oh, that's a big waver across the track. Not sure how much the judge is going to like that. And that's going to sacrifice a whole lot of speed and momentum and pulls him right out of that outside zone. He was off throttle as well as he initiated. Gets himself back into it. And now darts across the track. He's transitioned the wrong way. And it's crazy what the pressure of qualifying can do to some of these drivers. The muscle memory from round 2 comes into play, and a lot of these guys are just following the old line, following round 2 layout. even though they've been completing full runs on this circuit all day today. The pressure of qualifying is just getting too much, and look at this. His mind said go right. The track said go left. So it will be a 0, incomplete run. So Abu Falah, no, on the line. So Abu Falah makes his way to the start line. Nissan 200 SX, S14, LSX with a huge Whipple supercharger hanging out of the bonnet. And a very, very nice build as Abu Falah pulls up to the start line. One of the first men out in practice, was eager to get out and try and get himself dialed on this qualifying line. As he gives his thumbs up to the camera. And off the line he goes, representing Lebanon. Abu Falah comes down for his first qualifying run of the night. Neon's on. Oh, and again a lack of commitment. Drops 2 wheels now on the outside edge of the circuit. Need to keep them wheels spinning. When they're not spinning, you've got no grip. The tyre just wants to slide across the track. As Falah now transitions, dials on quite a lot of angle, does pick up that front clipping point, but now he's going to struggle to get to the outside zone. Fails to get there. Falah going to go wide on that front clipping point now. Struggle on this transition unless he gets the timing perfectly right. He's either going to be off track or perfectly in the outside zone. Gets it absolutely spot on right. Wheel on the white line. And across the line goes Falah. So here we go, you can see 2 wheels off track. I do believe that will be 20 points. From what I can remember from the driver's briefing. Obviously a lot to cram into my tiny little mind when these judges are talking about the scoring system. And I'm not a judge, don't claim to be. Our judges for this whole championship, as always, Kieran Hines, your head judge, Wadu Akbar, and Vernon Svanefeld. Wadu, a judge in the UAE and Dubai, and Vernon Svanefeld, a judge from Drift Kings, and of course the one and only Drift Masters European Championship. Off the line though, the next contestant will be Manda Al-Manji in this incredible Toyota GT86. Big mistake as he goes for the initiation. Now, been struggling with this car all day, seems to have a lot of mechanical grip, and you can see him working the wheels trying to get this car to go, and just cannot get it to transition. You can see even on throttle, no tyre smoke, and again very scrappy run so far from Manji. As you can see him really working the car inside, working the steering wheel, does manage to get around, but there are a lot of mistakes in that run. There's a huge anti-lag backfires out the back end of that car. Yeah, big prolonged amount of straightening there at the back end of the circuit on the inside. Wheels dropped on the inside edge of the circuit. Look at this big mistake here, almost an over rotation, because he has to straighten and go at it again. I'm going to go as far as much as saying that will be a 0. Big understeer there as well. On this one, pretty much unchaseable in top 32. So not sure if the judges will give him a score or if it will potentially be a 0. Sorry for the increase in volume as the door is opened in the commentary tower, and you can hear my Arabic counterpart Habib outside bringing you all of the Arabic commentary on YouTube. And alongside me as well is Grinya with the Ukrainian commentary. Al Balushi up next. And way off track as Wakas Al Balushi goes 4 wheels off the back end of the circuit. 5 litre V8 Ford Mustang Coyote aka Kit Kat makes his way around. And you can see how much that line on the back end of the circuit is upset now. His line here is going to be on the inside edge of the circuit, washes towards the wall and then back off it again. So Balushi's run, big flick, nice initiation. Just lacked that commitment, and you can see how much it caught him out. As soon as he got his wheels on the slippery part of the track, it was 4 wheels off track, and it was a 0. Judges just taking a look back at the replay of that. Mohammed Hassan Al Mansouri up next, and the Power Horse S15. 2 JZ, or 1 JZ, sorry, underneath the bonnet, representing the UAE. This young man been incredible so far in practice today. Can he hold on to it? Oh, little wobble, capes in it, nice and deep into the outside zone. Very tidy job so far. Look at him riding that left foot brake up close and personal to the wall. Goes Mansouri now as he puts hammer down, transitions back. Look at that front clipping point, gets it, shallows up the angle, dials it on, slows the car down in decel zone. Oh, shallows up again. Look, a little bit scrappy on this technical part, nevertheless gets himself back into it. Looks for the transition, left foot brakes, wants to put the back wheel back in the outside zone. And here he goes now, full throttle, looking for the wall, and across the line goes Mansouri. Tidy job. Very nice initiation, like that. Very, little tentative, gets the job done. Seen a lot of mistakes and impacts up the back end of that track. Remember that initiation and first corner exactly the same as round 2. And we know what carnage that caused at round 2 of the OIDC. As Mansouri gets himself into the outside zone, very nicely done. You can see the way he just works the car, thought about it quite a lot, and I mean, there's a lot of zeros so far. I'm going to say at least 10 zeros so far on my score sheet. So there will be a score for Mansouri. So Namna up next. The BMW E46. As you can see, 7.2 litre V8 underneath the bonnet. He named this car the Virus. Well, let's see if he can put the Virus in the top 32. Nice line in the outside zone as he now hammers the throttle across the centre of the circuit. Big amount of rev limiter used. Just scrapes a wheel on the edge of that outside zone, but it's going to put him on a weird line through there. As you can see now, he's going to transition a little bit too late. Does make it work, slows the car down, gets himself back into it as a fire erupts underneath the car. So our marshals quickly attending to that situation. So 429 horsepower being produced from the C46 BMW, a stroked LS3. And as scrappy as it was, it will give him a score on the board. And all things considered tonight, it seems like the pressure's getting to our drivers. So looking across the top of the monitor out onto the circuit, I can see that the fire is out. We go back to the start line, and Salim Al Saraf now from the Q8 awaits to lay down his first qualifying run. Sam 350Z. So here we go. Saraf off the line. Down he goes. Twin turbocharged Chevrolet V8 underneath the bonnet. Just a mere couple of 100 horsepower propelling himself around the circuit. Very tidy line up onto the wall and across the centre of the circuit. He goes full throttle. Little dab of the foot brake. Oh, it just upset him. If he would have timed that transition a little bit earlier, he would have got himself perfectly into that front clipping point. Nevertheless, across the circuit he goes once again into the outside zone, puts a wheel right to the edge of the circuit, up to the wall. Very, very tidy job there for Saraf. Nice initiation. You can see that wobble there. A lot of drivers complaining that the track gets ever so slightly slippery up the back end of the circuit, and middle of that corner, a lot of drivers saying you get a little wobble on with the front wheels, a little understeer. You could just see where he mistimed that transition. If it was a couple of seconds earlier, he would have got himself right perfectly on that front clipping point that would set him up for the wall, and that would have been a really high scoring run. Nevertheless, Saraf gets himself a score and looks forward to competition in top 32. A very confident lead line there. As we go to Mohammed Al Jabir now. Again, Another V8 powered Nissan 350Z. Another nice line so far as we look for the outside zone. Full throttle is going to wash out of it though. Yeah, just overcommitted on the angle. Could have dialed it back a little bit, shallowed off the angle. He's going to mistime the transition now. You can see him wobbling, shallows up the angle, dials it on, trying to get to the outside zone, tries to pick it back up again, just about gets there as he fires through his own smoke, looking for the final outside zone. Foot hammers down, he looks for the wall. You can see him just left foot braking, trying to drag the back end of the car towards the outside edge of the circuit. Just can't get as close as he'd like to. So Javier, car number 51, will get a score on the board as well. Of course, keep an eye on all of the Oman International Drift Championship social media channels. We will be live once again tomorrow at 4 PM local time for Top 32, and we will decide the championship tomorrow night here in Muscat. Our national championship, our MENA championship, and of course our international championship. Ali Al Shahani pulls to the line in the Bazooka, a Chevrolet 7.2 litre V8 Nissan 200X S15. Incredible build from the Shahani team. As you can see on the side, RHS representing thumbs up. Shahani having big problems with the car in the last round. They took it away, worked on it, got it prepped, got it ready and back for round 3. And Ali Shahani comes off for the line, hot and heavy, takes down a comb, but he won't get penalised for that. Smokes the tyres almost all the way up to that initiation zone. Long drag on the handbrake, it just sacrificed a little bit of that commitment. You can see dabbing the handbrake across the track there, trying to put himself back in the outside zone. Judges will be looking at that and knock him down massively on points. Full throttle, flames erupting by the back wheels as he transitions. Nicely done. Can he wash it in to the outside zone? A lot of drivers just lacking that commitment to dial the car on angle down onto the wall. Easy for me to say from the comfort of my chair in the commentary tower. As Shahani picks up the throttle once again, big clutch kick, just about keeps the back end in the zone and across the line from Shahani. Yeah, look at that big handbrake drag. You can see how much it upset the car. Judges won't like that. That's a full throttle zone, one D-cell zone on this circuit, and that is as you transition right here down onto the wall. That's the only D-cell zone there is, but judges expect guys to be off throttle up until that front clipping point, or, you know, just tickling the throttle to gain traction once again. But for Shahani there, that will be a massive points deduction. Here we go, off the line, Sebastian Fontaine representing the Netherlands. The Dutch driver having no luck so far this year in the Middle East. Broken prop shaft at round 1, a broken differential against Bagsy at round 2, but now starts to try and reclaim a little bit of lost ground as he transitions way on time, perfectly on time. As Fontaine picks up that front clipping point, he sits himself on a really nice qualifying line now, transitions the car back, little dab of the handbrake to settle the back end as he gets into the outside zone. Oh, keeps it in just about as Fontaine puts foot to floor. Nice job. Nice initiation from Sebastian Fontaine. Look at that. Picked up the throttle just at the right time before the wheels dropped too far out of that zone and he couldn't correct it. Gets himself deep, pushes the back, works it in on the foot brake to the outside zone. Nicely done. Transition, right on point. Look at this. Way at the right time. Gets a wheel in that zone. Could have been doing a little bit deeper, but he does get there. And Fontaine picks up that front clipping point, looks for the transition. You can see the little dab of the handbrake, slows it down, gets it timed. And then knows he needs to be deeper, so he uses a foot brake to push the back of the car towards the wall. And Fontaine gets the job done. So score on the board there for Sebastian Fontaine. Again, noted though on his social media, noises coming from the car, maybe pull it apart after qualifying. Up next it is the one and only Ali Al Balushi. Lalu comes off the line. 6.8 litre V8. Chevy V8 underneath the bonnet of this 200X S13. Nice line from Lalu so far. Perfectly done from Lalou. A little wobble on the steering wheel. He's going to get this transition done right. Nice job from Lalou as he gets himself in that inside zone. Oh, and he tries so hard to get to the wall. He could have used a handbrake to extend it. It is a decel zone. They wouldn't have marked him down too harsh for that, but Lalou makes it work, gets himself into it. Across the line goes Lalou. And job done on his first qualifying run. So here we go, nice and tidy in the outside side. You can see the little front wheel, little correction here and there. It's the back end, nice and close to the wall. Little wobble, times it almost perfect as Lalou comes down. Look at this though, you can see how much the car's gripped up. It just didn't want to wash out that far towards the wall. And Lalou had to sacrifice a little bit of line and then collect it once again as he gets into that final outside zone. So Hussein Masoumani now pulls to the line in another V8 vehicle. It is of course a BMW E46. The Lebanese driver Masoumani sits on the line. I do believe this is an LSA supercharged. Yep, it is LSA E46 BMW. So supercharged V8. Nice flick, snap to transition. Oh man, and he caught so much understeer. What a shame. That was going to be so promising. That was such a nice flick to angle. That's exactly what the judges are looking for. Big speed, flick to angle on that initiation. And unfortunately for Masoumani now, this one just for the kudos, just to feel out the track as he makes his way around that final outside zone. Unfortunately, it will be a 0, 4 wheels off the circuit. Look at this big commitment, nice wander, big flick across the track. He was on throttle so early, the front wheels had no chance of picking it up. The car just wasn't settled enough to get in it. And Masoumani had to work to make that one get back on the qualifying line. The damage already done at this point though for Masoumani. So back to the start line we go, and it will be Sabusa Takizawa, the Formula Drift Japan driver. In this Toyota Mark II 2JZ Quaif gearbox on the back of it. I do believe he is the Japanese Quaif dealer. So there we go, pulls to the line in the Stars Channel Toyota Mark II. Battered and bruised now from a hard season so far in Oman. Takizawa heads through and down he comes. Nice flick, nice snap to angle. Gets the job done, gets that rear wheel perfectly on the outside edge. Just wanders slightly away from it. It's looking good so far, promising for the Japanese driver as he comes through the centre of the circuit. And now picks up that front clipping point, just gets a wheel on the outside edge of the box. He's going to go deep on that zone. Can he get that line perfectly done? He can. Look at this. Nice from Takizawa as he transitions back once again. He's thinking about this one. You can see him in the car. Collected and cool. Very wide to the edge of the circuit. On the throttle. Picks up another gear and across the line. Very tidy job. Yeah, Takizawa doing a very nice job here on the outside zone. A very nice lead line, just what the judges are looking for. Someone very competent and confident to get the job done out front. And we'll see if it's enough to keep himself in the top 32 of competition. Nicely done there from Takizawa. Tidy. Very nice there for Takizawa. So here we go, back on the start line we go. It will be Nicholas Solomon, BMW E92, Chevrolet LS3 Turbo underneath the bonnet. Now Nicholas having a lot of problems with this car, breaking drive shafts, broke a differential at the last round. He went away, swap them on, got the car fixed up. They changed the differential to a BMW M5 setup. Some bigger G-force drive shafts, and now Solomon ready and hungry, but he goes wide, drops wheels on the outside edge of the circuit. The pressure getting a little bit here to the American driver, Nicholas Solomon. Gets himself back into it once again. Nice and deep and across the line. Scrappy, but gets the job done for Nicholas Solomon. Look at this, nice job. Sets himself up lovely on the outside zone. What a job from Nicholas Solomon. He does go wheels over though, just to one wheel. And Solomon stays committed towards the wall. This transition, almost perfect. Look how wide he shoots himself on the circuit. Shallows up the angle massively. Not sure if the judges are going to like that. I think right now they'll be just taking anything that comes their way. Does go too wide and sacrifices quite a lot of that front clipping point though. But the line into this outside zone, very, very good. As Nicholas Solomon gets himself across the line. Job done. So, Nasser Al-Habali, up next from El Salvador. Car number 14. LS3 350Z. One of those very cool intakes hanging out the bonnet. Those K&N air filter NASCAR style boxes. Very nice job from this young man. Wow, what an initiation. Feeling super confident on this line. Oh, just washes out of it. Could have stayed in it a little bit deeper. Nevertheless, gets the job done. Transitions back, picks up the front clipping point. Starting to look confident. You can see a front wheel locked up. Nice job on that outside zone. Wow, this is looking promising right now for this young man. As Nasser gets himself back on that line. Cool, calm and collected. Job done. Wow, what a job there. Nasser Al-Habali. Nicely done. Look at the way he dipped the front of that car in on the foot brake, on initiation. Left foot braking, right in the outside. Does drop on the inside though. Look at that. Just keeps a wheel in that outside zone. Waits for the transition. Dials the angle on. Flicks the car. Once again on the foot brake. Picks up that front clipping point. This is the nicest line we've seen so far from that outside zone though to this clipping point. Very nicely done. Does shallow up a little bit there though on the replay, you can see. Not as smooth as maybe we would like to see, but nevertheless, nice job there from that young man. And it will be up next, Timo Lipski, the youngest man on the grid. BMW E46 2JZ, I do believe, underneath the bonnet. Flames erupting from the external wastegate. One of the hottest properties in Ukrainian drifting as he gets the back bumper on the wall. Incredible stuff there from Lipski. Transitions back, picks up that front clipping point, front wheel locked solid as he hammers the throttle through the floor. Very nicely done. And Ukraine holding their heads up high at the moment as Lipski goes even further. Can he go even further? Can he go deeper? Just about gets that wheel to that outside edge. Nice job from the Ukrainian young gun. Yeah, look across to my Ukrainian commentator and he says Ukrainian power. He's very proud of that one. Grinya, of course, the Ukrainian live stream on YouTube. Very nice job, very nice line. Very, very good car control as balances that car. As you can see on the foot brake, gets himself into those outside zones. Could have been a little bit deeper there at the beginning of that final outside zone, but nevertheless, we're splitting hairs. Ladies and gentlemen, gets the job done. Nice, 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 nice. Well, up next is the Malaysian driver Mohammed Hamdan, aka Bullseye. It's an 206 S15 JZ underneath the bonnet. Again, popular engine, that and the Chevrolet V8. Not too many dissimilar engines here. As Bullseye had a bit of an incident earlier, the bonnet flipping in practice. No damage calls to the windscreen though. And here he goes, Bullseye. Big flick across the circuit, shallows up the angle. Waits for the car to pick up the mechanical grip on the back end, gets on the throttle. Nice line so far from Bullseye, all very shallow though, and you can see almost off throttle as the car dives across the track. on that transition. Back into it goes Bullseye. Looks for that front clipping point. Job done. Box ticked. Transitions back. You can see the big clutch kicks, the way the car reacts. The suspension sets so soft, trying to pick up as much grip as they can. Gets himself across the line, and again another score on the board. So Bullseye, take a look back at a replay. You can see this very shallow there. And a dab of the handbrake as he transitions back. It unfortunately unsettles the car and moves him away from that front clipping point. Gets in it. And Bullseye will be happy to put a fairly reasonable score on the board. Here at round 3, looking for a little bit of top 32 goodness. Riyad Al-Mabsali now on the line. The Omani driver, Mark IV Toyota Supra. Now this guy really come alive. Oh, that's way too early. Way too early, unfortunately, for Riyad Al-Mabsali. And you can see the way he had to wait and let the car wash across the circuit. I mean, props for the initiation, that big flick, but it was way too early on that scoring zone. Gets a transition done, picks up that front clipping point. Nice job. Down he goes, outside zone collected. He's dialed on a lot of angle, but he does make it work now as Mabsali comes back across the track. Looks for the final outside zone, puts the back end of that Supra as far as he can in it, and across the line. Yeah, look at this. Way too early. Just loses at least half of that outside zone. So massive points deduction, but nevertheless, I'm going to say that the way things are standing with the zeros, we could potentially see Riyad in the top 32. Obviously, second qualifying runs yet to go. We possibly will have a little break in between run 1 and run 2. Mohammed Chihab up next, Pro Drift Academy driver in that C6 Corvette. As we just take a small moment, a small break, to welcome in one of our VVIPs this evening. So there we go, Mohammed Chihab. So LS7 underneath the bonnet, naturally aspirated. Said he was having some issues with this car at round 2. Unfortunately knocked himself out of competition. Now hoping to get back in action as we of course welcome our VVIP this evening. It is Minister of Oman Investment Authority Abdul Salam Al Mashidi, and he is here this evening to see exactly what goes on at the OAA and all of our international drivers. So he's going to make his way up to see the judges, and you can see us down there in the commentary booth. Judges above us, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Kieran Hines, Wadu Ukpa and Vernon Svanefeld. So we are going to await the all clear before we send Mohammed Chihab off the start line for his first qualifying run of the evening. So here we go, Mohammed Chihab off the line, looking for a little redemption after round 1. The Pro Drift Academy driver gets the back end of that C6 into action. Look how low the tyre pressures are, almost scraping the rim on the tarmac as he goes foot to floor across the wall run. Incredible job. Oh, wheels on the inside of the circuit. He's going to have to work hard. Oh, and that's going to upset him. That's going to massively upset him. Catches that cone. Judge is saying you could hang the front of the car on the inside edge of the circuit, just outside zone. That was sacrificed ever so slightly there as Chihab gets back in it once again. Flat on the throttle as he brings it across the line. Let's take a look back and assess the damage. So he does drop a wheel over the edge of the circuit on initiation. Judges will deduct a few points, but they'll be looking more at the commitment from Chiab. But look at this, wheels on the inside edge of the circuit. And as he crosses, so the cones, let's look at the cones. The cones are there for a visual reference for our drivers. Now, judges did say if you catch the cones with a front bumper, it's no points deducted. They want to see that front wheel on that white line. But the problem was for Chiab there, as soon as he hit those cones, it unsettled him, unnerved him, and moved him away from where he needed to be. So we'll see how that reflects in his score. Hazar Al Hassani up next in his, well, battered and bruised carbon Kevlar S14 Boss kit. And Hazar happy to go as ever. Through he comes. Chevrolet V8 again underneath the bonnet. Wonders that car left to right. Oh, very, very wide. You can see that car crabbing almost as it made its way to the outside zone. As now Hazar shallows up the angle. Oh, big flames erupt from the backfire as he gets himself into it. Big foot brake lock up. Can he hold on to it? Looking for that front clipping point. Does get there. Transitions back as a big fireball erupts from the back end. Foot brake fully locked once again into the outside zone. And across the line. Once again, scrappy. But I do believe it'll get the job done. Initiation pretty wild. See how much that car's gripped up, trying to fight him all the way around the outside zone. Nice commitment though. Gets himself into it. Look how much he shallows up the angle before he stands on the throttle. Nicely timed on the transition. Doesn't get the front of the car too far over the outside edge. You can see him just locking up that front wheel, trying to push the back end into the outside zone. Picks up that front clipping point. Transitions back. A decent run there from Al Hassani. Now we start to get to the business end of the deal. A lot of now international drivers, and this one, of course, the Drift Masters' very own Lithuanian driver Andreas Vasiliauskas comes off the line. It's 54 turbo underneath the bonnet. It's E92 BMW carbon Kevlar turbo systems car. Full throttle just keeps the wheels on the track there. Washes quite a little bit wide there on the outside zone. Oh, onto the wall goes Vasiliauskas. Incredible talent. Said he struggles with tyres a little bit when it comes to the twin battles. A lot of these guys run incredibly grippy tyres. Perfect line though on the outside zone as he picks up the front clipping point. Very cool, calm and collected. Back through his own smoke he comes into that final outside zone. Oh, two wheels over though from Vasiliauskas. Big points deduction as he crosses the line. So here we go, you can see how close he gets Purcell to that wall. Just takes the paint off the bumper. As Vasiliauskas, nice transition. You can see the way he wavered that car a little bit, just trying to get it lined up nicely on that front clipping point. Nice line through that second front clipping point. And this is where it went wrong. You can see transitioned a little bit too late, just overshot that outside edge of the circuit. For me, the only place really where he lost some points. Up next, it will be the one and only Sergei Kremets, a Ukrainian driver. Mercedes-Benz M104 turbocharged engine underneath the bonnet. And the No Motors Race Corp IS 200 ready for battle. Now, this guy had one of the nicest lines in practice earlier on today. Can he fulfill that once again? Sergei Kremets, stone cold as he stares down the track, wants to get the business done. Marshall just waiting for the smoke to clear off the circuit. As you can see, the lights cutting through it like a hot knife through butter. Thumbs up, he's clear to go. Kremets off the line. Ukraine represented right now. Big flames bang from that passenger side of the vehicle into the outside zone. Kremets off throttle though. You can see him balancing it. Starts to build some tyre smoke now as he looks for the grip, looks for the commitment. And now waits for that transition back. And Sergei Kremets a little bit nervous here by the looks of things. A little bit A little bit held back, transitions back once again, wants to keep all four wheels in the scoring zone. Doesn't get as deep as what we've seen him today across the line. It's job done for Sergei Kremitz, but that commitment just lacking. So Sergei Kremitz getting the job done. The Ukrainian driver looking a lot more confident in practice earlier on today, so maybe that nerves the top 32 competition. Just sitting out of the top 10 in the championship, so Kremitz will try and squeeze his way in potentially into that top 10 this year, as our VVIPs take their seat in front of the control tower to watch the action this evening. Up next, it will be the UK's very own. It will be the UK's very own Martin Richards in the Driftworks Nissan Skyline R32. JZ underneath the bonnet. Martin Richards looking cool as a cucumber in his profile picture, but I can tell you right now he's as hot as a cayenne pepper in that car, and as red as one as he comes down the line, flicks it left to right. Nice initiation from Richards, gets in the throttle, dials himself in. He struggled with this outside zone in round two, now starts to find the kinks, work himself into it. Nice line up on the wall goes Richards as he dials on the angle. Front bumper hangs over that cone. You can see him left foot braking, gets himself up onto the wall. Nice line from Richards as he gets himself deep into that front clipping point. Very, very tidy line from Martin Richards. Back on the throttle once again as Richards navigates himself into the outside zone. Back end, up onto the wall, and Martin Richards does the UK proud as he brings it across the line. So here we go. Look back at Richards' run, and you can see this outside zone was what was causing Martin a lot of grief. You can see the way that front steering wheels corrected themselves there. He had to work, get himself back into it. This transition for me though, perfectly timed. Lifted off the throttle, little dab of the foot brake, got himself dialed, and then look how deep he goes into the outside zone. Very nicely done. Mid-track transition coming up, nicely done again, and then settles himself perfectly to pick up the outside edge of that circuit. Bumper on the wall, job done for Martin Richards. So we wait for our next contestant, and it should be Ahmed Al Amri, and of course it is. Al Amri, Nissan 206 S15 V2 performance representing thumbs up, big grin on his face, super happy. The Omani National 1JZ powered S13, looking a little bit battered and bruised, but he's got the tool for the job. Off the line comes Al Amri. There we go, nice into the outside zone. And I do believe my paperwork says JZ, but apparently it has a V8 now. Maybe a quick swap shop engine conversion over the last week. Here we go, nice line through that front clipping point. Al Amri inside that top 10, looking good for a good championship finish this weekend. Transitions back through his own smoke, very tidy line. Gets the back wheel right to the edge of the circuit. Very nicely done for Mohammed Al Amri. Yeah, very tidy initiation. Deep in the outside zone, no worries this time, no wavering, no wobbling. Foot to the floor. He gets himself as deep as he dare in that outside zone. That transition though, that front clipping point, perfectly timed. Look at that. Could have been another couple of inches on that front clipping point, the outside zone. A little bit of sacrifice. But nevertheless, Al Amri doing a very, very nice job. And Al Amri sealing the deal with a wall run. So Mohammed Khorshid should have been our first driver out. Unsure of why he slipped himself back into this position. But nevertheless, Mohammed Khorshid from the Q8 will get a run on the circuit. and a new contender this weekend for the final round of the championship. As Khurshid slots the car into gear, off the clutch, down he comes. Oh, and a poor initiation, doesn't get himself into that outside zone. Wavers and wonders now as he looks for the wall. Unfortunately, just can't get there as Khurshid transitions back, dials on too much angle. He's going to sacrifice the outside zone. The transition way too late. Now sacrificing all of these clipping points. Going to be a very poor run here for Khurshid. As he transitions back, can he pick up this final outside zone? He can, just about. You can see him slowing the car down, trying to get himself in there. Unfortunately, he just can't fulfill it. So, Mohamed Khurshid will put a score on the board. But I do believe it won't be enough for top 32 action at the moment. As we shall resume normal order in a second, and it should be Rostislav Rarahovsky. And indeed it is Rostislav Rarahovsky. So there we go, Rostislav Rarahovsky from the Ukraine, the Toyota GT86 3.4 litre Toyota JZ underneath the bonnet. And this Ukrainian driver had a few mistakes, a few problems in the first round. Can he hold it together now? Nicely done. Sorry, had a few problems in the second round. First round looked good for him. Just couldn't get himself into that top four though, as now Rostislav looks to redeem himself here. Nice line through that front clipping point, allowed to shallow up the angle there as they come through there. Dials on the angle though, shallows up, trying to pick up that front clipping point. Looks for the transition back, slows the car down, gets into the outside zone, and Rostilav's car, one of the fastest on the grid as he takes it across the line. So Rostislav Rarahovsky. You can see there, look, the car just wobbling ever so slightly, and that upset Rostislav because as he got to here, he went wheels off and had to shallow up from the wall. Good transition back as Rostislav gets the front wheel in the outside zone. Front zone, misses the outside zone, just drags the wheel across it. And Rostislav finishing up the run. So, there we go, score on the board. Up next, Tarek Al-Shahani. The second half of the Shahani brothers. And Tarek in this incredible orange and carbon fibre Nissan 200SX S13. Chevrolet LSX underneath the bonnet, Gemvi throttle bodies. And Tarek Al-Shahani. It's nice initiation, very committed, all two committed wheels over the outside edge of the circuit. Gets on the foot brake trying to balance that car. Gets himself nice and close to the wall. If there was a bumper, it'd be gone by now. Can he get the transition time nicely? He certainly can. Look at the way he slows that car down to pick up that front clipping point. Nicely done. Dials on the angle for the outside zone. This is looking good for Tarek Al-Shahani. Fourth place qualifier at round two. And sitting inside the points as Shahani looks absolutely dialed at the moment. Gets himself onto the wall and across the line, Tarek Al-Shahani. Very, very tidy job there for Tarek Al-Shahani. Very nicely done on the outside zone, up onto the wall. Good transition back. Very nicely done here. Perfectly timed as you can see him pick up that front clipping point. And Tarek, look at that inside the car. Super comfortable, super confident. Dials on the angle. Looks like he's taking a ride to the shops. Shahani gets the job done. So So, back on the line, Red Bull and Oman's very own, the young talent that is Haytham Al Hadidi. Big engine failure at round 2, and a lot of work pulled out by the team. We witnessed this car being tuned the other day at 300 performance. What can he do? Oh, mistake there from Haytham, your first place qualifier at round 2 now, not looking too rock steady. Gets very close to the wall there on that wall ride as he transitions back. Gets it done very nicely. Picks up that front clipping point, looks to go on angle, slows the car down towards the wall. Now picks up that front clipping point. Good transition back. You see though, dabbing the handbrake. Judge will be looking at that. Shouldn't be slowing the car down with the handbrake, more letting the car wash on angle as Hadidi gets himself across the line. So there we go, Hadidi. Look at that. This guy, honestly, first qualifying run, round 2, was on form. He was your top qualifier. Red Bull did lock out the 2 top spots in qualifying at round 2. Can they do it again? Well, Hadidi will need to put his socks up a little bit for his second run, because we've seen better from this young man. And Hadidi gets himself across the line. We go back. And it is, of course, Ali Maqseed representing Q8. Incredible talent. That is Ali Maqseed. Like I mentioned before, follow this guy on social media. He is extraordinary. Jiu-jitsu, fencing, and just the other day doing some abseiling, some rock climbing. An incredible young man, an incredible talent behind the wheel. But what can Ali Maqseed do? 4th place finish at round 2, looking to get a podium. Jay-Z underneath the bonnet, of this GT86. And Maqseed having a few issues today with the car, so not sure if it's running 110%. But we will find out in a moment's time. 5th place in the points as Maqseed in the 22 Motorsport GT86, representing the Q8. So, not sure what the hold-up is, just taking a look out of the window of the commentary booth. And no hold-up, thumbs up, he's off the line. Nice initiation, big flick to angle, Maqseed goes wide, his 2 wheels off circuit, he's holding on to that one. You can see the brake discs showering sparks inside the wheel as Maqseed does everything he can to keep 4 wheels in the scoring zone. More sparks from the back end of the car as Maqseed struggles massively to get on that line. Maqseed needs some good qualifying points here to get himself into the fight. More sparks as Maqseed's car seems to be eating the brake discs for breakfast. Tyres destroyed as it goes across the line. Look at this, back. Nice initiation, and you can see how low he's running those tyre pressures. Unfortunately, just can't hang on to it. And Maqseed gets out of the outside zone, starts to get a little bit scrappy. As Maqseed, look at that, flames from the brake discs, extraordinary stuff. Maqseed, you can see there the sparks as he finishes up the run. So, here we go. Up on the line, we get into it. Top 4 in a championship. This is where it starts to get serious. Ahmed Daham, Jordan's very own, in the Red Bull S14, 2JZ underneath the bonnet. Had a big crash of the last round of the championship. They took the car away. They worked tirelessly to get it done. Big flick across the circuit. Daham's going for it. It sticks. It holds. Daham bangs the anti-lag from the external wastegate underneath the bonnet as Daham sticks the rear bumper on the wall and gets away with it. Daham plays with fire. He knows he needs top spot in qualifying. There are just points separating himself and Bagsy for the championship fight here as Daham gets a perfect line into that front clipping point. Transitions back, the car rotates on the front tyres. Little wobble as he sets himself up for the outside zone. Can Daham do it? Wow! Look at this from Ahmed Daham. Incredible. Look at the grip in that car. You can see him on throttle straight away. Doesn't want the car to wash. Wants it to stick. And the only way he's going to get that done is by spinning them tyres up. That wall run was insane. Stayed on it. Full commitment. Look at the transition. The waves. Full throttle transition. You can see the anti-lag banging deep into the outside zone. Front bumper over the wheel on that white line. This is exactly what the judges wanted. There's a little wobble there. That's the only hair to pick up. That has to be top qualifier as Daham takes it across the line. What a run. So we go back to the start line. Another Dutch driver is, of course, Clint van Oort, your round one winner. Currently still sitting third in the points. And Clint van Oort going out in top 16 at round two. That car battered and bruised, had a lot of work done in it in the last 6 days. What can he do as Clint van Oort comes off the line down? Nice initiation. Oh, falls out of it. Clint van Oort says qualifying is not his strongest. It takes him a while to dial in to the judges' required qualifying line. And Clint van Oort now looking scrappy, wobbles through the centre. You can see him barely on throttle as he transitions the car, picks up that front clipping point. Now starts to get into it, waits for the car to wash to the outside zone. Now starts to get comfortable as Clint van Oort transitions back once again. The Dutch driver looking to do it. Gets into the outside zone a little late and wanders on the edge of the circuit. Gets himself across the line. It will be a score. But Daham is breathing down his neck with points. This is going to be tough fought tomorrow night in top 32. Only 3 spots in the championship get that trophy. Will Clint van Oort still be there tomorrow night, or will Ahmed Daham overtake him and claim some silverware earlier on in the year? So, as we take a look back at the replay, we go back to the start line. The door being opened and closed slowly to let in that cool night air here in Oman. And it is, of course, Monster Energy's very own Steve Bagsy Biagioni in the Monster Energy ST suspension PS13. Bagsy second in the points. 2 third-place podiums. He wants to get higher. He said he wants to get on the top step. He needs to put in a 100-point qualifying right now. And it's a battle of the energy drinks up the taco. Look at Bagsy. Rear wheel on the outside line. Full throttle, small wobble. On the foot brake to the wall goes Bagsy. As he transitions back, can he time it right? Of course he can. He's a world-class driver. Front bumper over the curb. Deeper on the wall than Daham. He needs to not make a wobble now. This is up there. This can contest Daham for first place in qualifying. Bagsy transitions back. No wobble. Deeper than Daham. He gets close. Right close to the edge of the circuit. Bumper over the edge of the track. And Bagsy lights the tyres on fire. What a run from Steve Bagsy Biagioni. Look at this. Whole car almost in the outside zone. The rear wheel glued to the edge of the circuit. Small wobble, but he stays in it, keeps committed as Bagsy looks for the transition. World-class transition, world-class driving. That front bumper right on the edge of the circuit. And you can see back bumper deep, almost 90 degrees to the wall. Picks up that front clipping point exactly how the judges wanted to see it. And this transition, this was where Daham had the wobble. No issues for Bagsy. Gets into the outside zone perfectly on time. Glued to the wall, glued to the outside edge of the track. Wow. So here we go. Your current points and championship leader is, of course, the one and only Lithuania's very own Benediktas Čerba. An incredible young guy, an incredible talent. He said he's warming himself up, ready for the European Championship this year ahead. Slots the car in gear, the borrowed car. 3UZ Toyota V8 Turbo underneath the bonnet. This BMW 36 flicks the car left to right. Nice initiation. Not as deep though. Gerber on the foot brake, locking up that front wheel, and you can see him struggling to keep in the outside zone. Another dab of the handbrake. Gerber's struggling. He needs the points. Gerber looks for the transition, needs to get it done. It needs to be on point and online. He gets there, gets it absolutely perfect. As Gerber washes for the outside zone, not as deep as we'd like to see him. Picks up that front clipping point now. Transitions back. Gerber needs to be deep. He needs to try and reclaim some points here. He gets there. It's tidy, but Gerber washes to the edge of the outside zone, and across the line he goes. Well, nervous wait for Benedictus Gerber. And if you, like me, an avid drift fan, you'll know that wasn't as good as the Hams and Bagsy's qualifying runs. And those two guys are going to be fighting for the top of that qualifying order right now. Benedictus Gerber needs all the points he can. The top 3 qualifiers do score extra points. Benedictus Gerber will need to be in the top 3 to claim any of those. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that Benedictus Gerber's done enough to get himself as high as what he'd like to be. So there we go. All of the first runs done. I'm going to take a quick break. Going to moisten my throat. Sit back and think what just happened. I'm going to try and get hold of the current qualifying standings as well. Don't go anywhere. We're going to leave this live stream running. I'll be back in a few moments' time.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. Plus a family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the housing. Woo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo! Watch out, set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare to my line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah.
second round and I am first. It's amazing. I am feeling it's very amazing.
بشكر الجمعية العمانية على البطولة هاي الرائعة اللي بيعملوها بالشرق الأوسط وبيعطونا الفرصة لنقدر ننافس مع أبطال العالم وأبطال الشرق الأوسط. استنونا بالجولة الثالثة وإن شاء الله نجيب المركز الأول.
Round 3, see you soon.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on a roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, never coming for the bad. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and woo. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner on the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits. Yeah.
second round and I am first. It's amazing. I am feeling it's very amazing.
بشكر الجمعية العمانية على البطولة هاي الرائعة اللي بيعملوها بالشرق الأوسط وبيعطونا الفرصة لنقدر ننافس مع أبطال العالم وأبطال الشرق الأوسط. استنونا بالجولة الثالثة وإن شاء الله نجيب المركز الأول.
Round 3, see you soon.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On a roll, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know I'm the man. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream that we're coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 3, the final round of the 2022 Oman International Drift Championship. And we are back on the start line, ready to go with the second qualifying runs of the day. And it will be, of course, Turkey Alzir. This incredible S14.5 drops wheels on the edge of the circuit now, unfortunately, and shallows up the angle off throttle. Looks to regain a little bit of lost ground now from the transition, full flat. Foot flat on the throttle, picks up that front clipping point, shallows up the angle once again. And a strange line down onto that outside zone. As he picks up that front clipping point, transitions back, big flame pops off the back of the car. Hammers down. Supercharged V8 screams past the tower as he finishes up the run. Well, before the break, we was talking to you about the qualifying scores and how they were affecting tomorrow's competition and how it would change the championship. I can confirm that your first place qualifier is Ahmed Daham with a 90-point run. Second place is Sebastian Fontaine with an 85. Third place, Ahmed Al-Amri. Fourth place, Tariq Al-Shahani. Fifth place, Martin Richards. Sixth place, Bagsy. Seventh, Benedictus Cherba. Eighth place, Takizawa. Ninth, Haytham Al-Hadidi, your round 2 first place qualifier. And in 10th place, Timo Lipsky, the Ukrainian young gun. So there we go, that's your top 10 qualifiers so far. But of course, things will change as we move through. Samir Sabeh, now the Lebanese driver, V8 BMW E36. Nice initiation, gets himself into the outside zone this time. Dabs the foot brake a little bit too late though. Wanders out of that outside zone. He's going to struggle to pick it back up again. And yeah, look at this, dials on the angle. Looks for that front clipping point, evades it. Now looks for the rear one, evades that. He's fell way off that qualifying line. Picks up the front clipping point, as I mentioned earlier, relatively easily done though, even if you are offline. Now wanders across the circuit, in and out of the outside zone, and across the line he goes. So there we go. Samir Sabet will get another score on the board. And we go back to the start line. Abdullah Al Mamari did get a score, I do believe, on his first qualifying run. Oh, a lot of smoke and steam coming from the bonnet of that 350Z. So maybe some overheating going on there. Yep, so he's backed off the line. Unsafe to run at the moment for Mohammed. Sorry, Abdullah, car number 37, 63. Oh, Mohammed Khorshid. So, oh, and look at that. You can see the fire underneath the bonnet as our start line marshal tries to give it a little blowout. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get it done just there. And our marshals on point. Get the fire put out. Yeah, so Mohammed Khorshid. Confusingly to me, didn't do his first qualifying run until way down the order, just before Rostislav Vorohovsky. Now missed his first qualifying run. Missed his position, but did jump back in. Will score a 0. Can't make his way off the line under his own power. And Khorshid, at the moment, if I can find out where he sits, car number 63. While he's away. Car number 63. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. He is in 35th position at the moment, so he is out of competition. That will be the end of the weekend there for Mohammed Khorshid. And Khorshid gets pushed off the circuit. Back to the paddock, and unfortunately the end of the championship for him. We go back to the start line. Up next it will be Mohammed Al-Albri. So here we go. We're here in the background, tyres being warmed, and it will be Mohammed Al-Albri, I do believe. Forgive me if I am wrong. A lot of drivers swapping places here, calling 5-minute rules to fix their cars. I don't believe that Mohammed Khorshid will be back on the line though, but I could be confused, ladies and gentlemen. So start line marshal ready to rock and roll down there, and as I said to you yesterday, or earlier on, sorry, yesterday, we wasn't online yesterday, as I said to you earlier on, we will be back at 4 p.m. local time for top 32 action. We get the top 32 done, we go under the lights for the top 16. Here we go. As he gets away, told to wait for a second. Mohammed Al-Albri now makes it on to the line. 2JZ Nissan at 350Z. All of the flames, all of the anti-lag. As Al-Albri comes down, you can see that external wastegate flame licking the tarmac as if it wasn't hot enough already. Nicely done. I'll stay in the outside zone. Just wanders ever so slightly. Can he stay in it? He certainly can. Gets that nice line in the middle of the outside zone done. Looks for the transition back. Big flames erupt. Oh, big wobble. Catch of understeer there. You can see him putting a lot of steering inputs in. He misses the outside zone. And 2 wheels off circuit. Thought that was going to be potentially an over rotation, but he held on to it now. Al-Albri back in it. Another big pop and a bang as he gets himself across the line. So, car number 60 pulls it up. Quamaz. And Allah Quamaz from Jordan, BMW E30, Toyota JZ, once again, thumbs up. He's happy, he's having the time of his life. Slams the door closed, clicks the car into gear, gets the thumbs up, and away he goes. So little waver, little flick, dab on the handbrake, he's going to come up short. Yeah, you see, out of that outside zone. Unfortunately, at the lower end here of our qualifiers or championship points holders, and these guys still getting a grip to this technical circuit. We've been coming out here to Oman to push these drivers and their skill sets for the last 4 years now, and these guys slowly starting to build a real good skill set, dial their cars in and adjust to where they want to be. And Allah getting the job done. You can see how much smoke inside that car. Struggles to make his way off the circuit. So looking to see where Allah is, car number 60. And a 41st place at the moment. It was a 0 on his first qualifying run. So car enters the burnout box. You can see that down on the right hand side of your screen. A dedicated area for cars to warm their tyres before they make their way onto the circuit. And this incredible circuit designed, marked out by our very own head judge Kieran Hines. Sitting alongside him in that judging control tower is Ouadou Ukba and Fernand Zwaneveld from the Netherlands. Here we go into the start line. Goes Beckett Al-Harji. Down he goes. No, sorry, my bad. It is Mesur, and he is way out of the outside zone. Struggles to pick it back up again. As now he gets back into it. Back on the throttle he goes, picks up that front clipping point. Allowed to put a wheel on the inside edge of the circuit, so he won't be getting docked too many points for that. Gets himself back on that qualifying line, out to the outside zone, across the line. And a nice finish to the beginning of that run there for Mesur. So Mesur gets the job done. Across the line he goes. Up next it is Zaya Al-Shakshi. .370Z hit the wall. Problems with the car. Shut it down. Looks like they got it fixed and dialed. Oh, but he drops way at the outside zone, and he's going to struggle now to make this one up. Needs to really claw some points back as he gets deep onto the throttle, flat to the floor. Transitions back, looks at that front clipping point, and now it's starting to fall apart. Starting to get messy right now for Shaxi. Transitions back, looks for the outside zone. He's way too early. He's going to get to it a little bit too late. Wanders out of it mid-track. Oh, and it's looking scrappy for Shaxi. So here we have Beckett Al-Hajri, V8 Nissan 350Z. So, representing Q8 350Z, V8 underneath the bonnet, Beckett Al-Hajri. So we're going to look through paperwork, find out where he's currently sitting. And he's in 30th place at the moment, so he does find himself in the top 32. Can he improve? Or will he stay where he is, or will he get knocked out? That is the big question. We have a lot of zeros. So far, so good for Beckett as he stays one wheel on the edge of the outside edge of the circuit. Sorry. Oh, stops short, opposite drift. Judge is not going to like that. Oh, and he's off the edge of the circuit. And I'm going to say problems with that car for Beckett now. So back to the start line, Monster Energy and Ukraine's very own Dmitry Ilyuk. VK56, 5.6 litre V8 twin turbo fire breathing monster. And the Ukrainian driver now awaits for the track to be reassembled before we continue with the competition. So, Dmitry Ilyuk sits patiently in the car, waiting to go. Boss kitted Nissan 200SX S14. And Ilyuk waits for our start line marshal. To give him the all clear, I can see the marshals just running off the opposite side of the circuit to the control tower. And our start line marshal will give Ilyuk the thumbs up. Do we have any Ukrainian drift fans watching in on YouTube? I know I have a Ukrainian co-commentator sitting right beside me. Gdynia bringing the entertainment in Ukraine. Here we go, through the chicane goes Ilyuk, down through the gears, flames erupt from the bonnet. Big clutch kick early on, lights the tyres up as Ilyuk gets into it. Scrappy first run, he needs to work on this one. And he get himself deep into the zone he can, lets the car wash. Oh! And a big wobble from Ilyuk. A big straighten there as he now works his way back in. On the throttle he goes, down now, dials on too much angle, he's going to sacrifice the outside zone. Dmitry Ilyuk making this hard work for himself. 33rd place qualifier at round 2. Can he get himself in the top 32 as he collects that outside zone? Flat to floor as Ilyuk crosses the line. So yeah, Dmitry Ilyuk currently sitting in 22nd place. Pretty sure he should be safe for top 32 competition later on. And up next it is our 32nd place current qualifier, Talal bin Azhar, aka the Prince of Pakistan. This young guy, super humble and a very, very nice young man. And he is Pakistani's first ever international pro drift driver. So, here he goes, off the line. Bin Azhar waiting for the thumbs up. And as I say, Bin Azhar sitting in 32nd place at the moment. A 50 gets the job done. As we are just waiting for this tyre smoke from Ilyuk to clear away. So here we go. Bin Azhar off the line. Through the gears, looks for the nice flick across the circuit, gets it done. Car just struggles to get to angle. As he now works on the throttle, works on the accelerator, gets the back end of the IS 200 towards the wall. Nicely done there as Bin Azhar dials it in, gets that front clipping point. Was so close. Oh, and he tags the wall. That car just not reacting. Looks like it's got a bunch of understeer. Looks like it really struggles to go where Bin Azhar wants it to go. And unfortunately, I think that Bin Azhar, that is all she wrote. I'm not sure if he's going to improve on his first qualifying run. And even if that is enough to keep him in competition. So we will find out. As I mentioned earlier, keep your eye on all of our social media channels. The OIDC on Instagram, or OIA, will be posting up results. Move it back to the start line. Hamid Al-Hajiri, JZ powered Nissan 200SX S15. Looking a little bit battered and bruised after this weekend's activities, but nevertheless still a very nice car. And Al-Hajiri struggling a little bit with this car. representing Q8. We just await to rebuild that damaged tyre wall. And Ahmed in 37th place at the moment, so out of that top 32 competition. So as soon as I see our marshals clear off the back edge of the circuit, we can get things underway. And it looks like those guys are making their way now back off the track. And we are ready to rock and roll. So here we go. Marshall safely behind their posts and all back into position. And Hamad gets the thumbs up. The Q8 driver comes off the line. The drone hanging above his head. What can he do? Big flick across the track, right on the side edge of that line. Nicely done so far. Picks up some good pace and good speed, good commitment on the outside zone. As Hamad goes for that wall, but just lacks that confidence. Now starts to go a little bit wide. This is going to be messy on the transition. He's going to work hard to get that front clipping point. He just can't get there, and he's going to struggle now to get that outside zone. Already goes 2 wheels off the edge of the track, holds on to it. Not sure if this is going to be enough to improve now. Wheel on the inside edge of the circuit. Oh, and there we go. Clear 4 wheels off track. That will be a 0 for Hamad. And looked promising, unfortunately. Back we go. Bin Azar. Up next, Hala Bin Azar. In this very, very clean Nissan 200SX. No. So Bin Azar doesn't make it to the line. And we jump forward to Aloid Zakamoud. So Mahmoud. In this lovely looking Rocket Bunny. 1 comes off the line. And as I mentioned, battled Bagsy in top 32 at round 2. Struggled with power. Car looked like it was the same on his first qualifying run. Right about here, just looked like it didn't want to pick it up. And then all of a sudden found a little bit of go-go. And got up and went, oh, and that will be a big wobble in the middle of the circuit, right in front of the judging tower. Now struggles to find those front clipping points. Gets himself back into it, picks up that front clipping point, but as I mentioned, easy to get even if you're offline. And now gets that rear wheel on that white line, collects that all of that outside zone, rear end on the wall. I'm not sure that's enough for Mahmoud. So car number 58, yeah, 33rd place at the moment. I don't think he's done enough. This young man needs to improve massively. It is Toyoshi Akari Tony. So, Tony. Akakaki. Tony, big clutch kick. Nice initiation. Really looks like this car struggles with power. On throttle, washes way at the outside zone. You can see the car struggling to spin up those tyres. It's Origin Labo kitted. Nissan 200SX S15. Picks up that front clipping point, and Tony now starts to work on the back ones. Just can't get there. Comes round, looks for the front clipping point, drops a wheel right on the edge of it as he clutch kicks it once again. You can see him working the steering wheel in and out of those outside zones. And I'm going to say that's going to be a 0 on opposite drift across the line for Tony, sorry. So 00 sees him out of competition. We move it back to the line. Ala Zarif in this BMW E30. Also, judges want to take a look back at the replay. So, do believe the judges are trying to work out whether this was an opposite drift. I'm kind of going to call Tony out here on my own observations and say that this was an opposite drift. It was a clear 3 wheels at least off track, so I doubt that will be a score for Tony. We move it back to the line to see Ala Zarif now. As we mentioned, BMW E30. And he gets the all clear to go. Zarif off the line. Flames erupt from the external wastegate as he drops in and out of the outside zone, and once again he drops out and doesn't look like he's going to make it back in this time properly as he cuts right across the corner of our screen, transitions back, and it's going to be too late to pick up that front clipping point. It's a struggle to get to the rear, not even anywhere remotely close to it, and you can see off that line almost hit the apex on that second transition, gets into the outside zone but just cannot hold it there, and Zarif once again, another guy struggling to get himself into the show. Saud Al-Attiyah now, 370Z, Nissan GT Customizer. And Saud. And Saud currently out of competition. 45th place at the moment. Needs to make this one count. He's gone way wide across the circuit. He's going to go for a brave flick and once again initiates miles too early. And that just scrubs all the speed. He just can't let the car wash. His car's obviously gripped up to the max. Sticky tyres, Wisefab suspension on almost every single car on the grid, and unfortunately you can't be throwing down an early initiation like that, and once you do, it gets you out of that first outside zone, and then you kind of might as well forget about the rest of the run because you are all off of all those zones. And he shuts it down and brings it to, he's run to an abrupt end and takes it back to the paddock and think about how he can improve for next year. Back on the line, Falah, Abu Falah, in this beautiful Nissan 200S XS14 Chevrolet V8 Whipple supercharger bolted on the top. Very nice build. And Falah just struggling to get to grips with this auto fix Nissan. Once again, a lot of very, very nice parts on this car. Can he make it count? Goes for a strange initiation. He's going to grab a whole bunch of understeer, and that will be a 0, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, not sure if he's got a handbrake problem with that car. Just doesn't seem to want to lock the rear wheels up when he flicks the car in on initiation. And not sure whether it was just my eyes or I see sparks from underneath of that S14. And yeah, he stopped on the circuit, so there will be a quick pause in action. Unless he can get that car going under its own power and remove himself from the circuit, we will need recovery. And where does he currently sit at the moment? Car number 54. Let's take a look for you guys at home. Car number 54. Yep, 34th place. He does get the car going and back off the circuit, so we are clear to go with our next driver, and it is Munda Al-Manji. Toyota GT86 2JZ, aka Mr. Anti-Lag. But as mentioned earlier, it seems as if this car is running miles too much grip for potentially the driver talent. And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I'm just trying to be quite honest and truthful with you guys. Oh, and I'm not sure where that smoke is coming from, but that is a serious amount of smoke. So here we go. Yeah, way off the circuit, and I think that was the clutch. I think that was all of the clutch letting go as Manji tried to make his run. And fingers crossed that's not oil, because we will have to have a track clear up otherwise. So yeah, again, another 0 there for Munda Al Manji. And yep, it looks like we have a oil situation. Looks like we're going to need a track clear up. Can see our start line marshal down there and his crew, and he's going to take a slow walk around the circuit. So I'm going to rest my voice and rest your ears from my voice for a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, while we get our track assessed and cleared up. Don't go anywhere. More action live here from the OIDC 2022. So we're back, and here we go. Next car on the line is Wakas Al Balushi in the Ford Mustang 5.0 V8 underneath the bonnet. And as you can see, we have had to move our start line to the opposite side of the track. We had no option. Obviously oil down on the start line. Our track marshals checked out the rest of the track and said, looks all clear, looks like there was nothing else there. He had no power and he just understeered off track. Let's get back to the action though. As Kit Kat makes his way across circuit, picks up that nice front clipping point, dials it in, rear clipping point, picks it up nicely, dials on the angle. That changes the way the car's going to react into that inside clipping point. Nice line, back on throttle again. Tidy job so far. Keeps it on the track and across the line. Good job there for Wakas Al Balushi. So we go off the line. It will be Al Mansouri, Mohammed Hassan Al Mansouri, in a Nissan 200SX S15. Nice job. This young man did a very good job in his first qualifying run. Look at that once again. Starts to get dialed on the outside zone. Wheel right to the edge of the circuit. In that Powerhouse S15 bumper hanging down. He doesn't care about the bumper. He just wants to get himself in the show. Look at that line down through that front clipping point to the wall and over rotates. And you can see the way he looks down and says, ah, man, I had it all. I had it all to play for. So he's going to make his way off the circuit. Unfortunately, it will be a 0 for Mansouri, as one of our marshals rescues the last or the remains of that front bumper before it gets destroyed. And Mohammed I do believe, currently 15th place in qualifying, so that first qualifying run, enough to get himself into the show. Hamza Nameh now pulls to the line, I do believe. No, it's going to be Mohammed Khorshid. Of course, this young man slipping in wherever he can. He'll do everything he can to get a qualifying run today. Well, he currently has a score on the board. Car number 63. We'll take a quick look where he is. 35th position. I did say he would have a 0, but my judgment was misguided. And he now comes off the line for the second qualifying run of the day. After that small engine bay fire, nice initiation, but way drops on the inside of the circuit, dials on even more angle, 2 wheels on the inside. Doesn't manage to get remotely inside the outside zone. He's going to transition way too late. You can already see the angle that he fires that car on. A big understeer and flicks it to the wall for good measure. So Mohammed Khorshid will be the end of his weekend as he takes the car off track. And we look for the next contender, which will be this time Hamza Nameh. Car number 61, twin turbo V8 350Z. Currently sitting in 18th place. Oh, so sorry. Car number 39 won't make it to the start line, which is Hamis. We will see what happens to him. Oh, we've moved it along to Salim Al Saraf. So Al Saraf, twin turbo V8 350Z. He sits in 18th place at the moment. Nice wide initiation. Look at that. Keeps a hold of it. Gets the job done. Gets both the front and the rear wheel in the outside zone. Full commitment, full throttle as he takes it to the wall. Sacrifices a little bit of that line to keep a hold of the back end. Transitions perfectly. Look at that transition. He comes down to the wall, slows the car down. That was an incredible line onto the wall. Now picks up the throttle once again, picks up that front clipping point. Look at the work he's doing inside the car. Very dialed. He's going to go slightly wide. Can he hold on to it? He can. Bled a few points, but what an incredible job there for Al Saraf. Jabir now pulls to the line, car number 51, Mohammed Al Jabir. 28th place in qualifying at the moment. Obviously, we will get all of these scores and all of this top 32 reworked out after the last runs are done. And we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. local time for our top 32 competition. So, Mohammed Al Jabir in the V2 Performance Nissan 350Z. And we are almost halfway through the second half of these runs. As our start line marshal just waits for the smoke to clear us slightly to give our judges the best position to look from representing Qatar. Big flick across the track. You can hear that V8 grumble. Oh, but he just come off throttle for a little bit too long there. Sacrificed that line. Gets himself deeper on the zone. Stays in it. Looks for a nice wide transition. That's going to be too late on the flick. He's going to miss that front clipping point. Just gets to it, but he had to shallow up. Now he's going to miss the outside zone. Has to work to get to it. As Jabir does a very strange transition across the track, almost shallow, off angle, hardly spinning the tyres up to the wall and across the line in the outside zone. Judges will be taking a look back at that. A few points there to have a look at of how Jabir made it to those clipping points. So no need to look at the replay. Judges saying they're quite happy with what they've seen so far. We move it along to Ali Al-Shahani. And Ali Al-Shahani, car number 18. '31st place in qualifying for Shahani at the moment. LSX, naturally aspirated V8 underneath the bonnet of this S15, aka a bazooka. And we await to get Shahani off the line. Here we go, the rumble of the V8 erupts as Shahani puts his foot down in this S15. And again, once again, another early initiation. They're not paying off tonight unless you're carrying an incredible amount of speed. Big clutch kick lights up the rear tyres, off the throttle once again as Shahani struggles to navigate his way around this technical fast circuit. Nice transition though, he's going to pick up that front clipping point. Can he get down to the outside zone? He can. As he looks for that front clipping point now, puts a wheel on the white line, gets that dialed, transitions back, a little bit with too much angle, but he can make it work. He has the power to get to the outside zone, and out of the zone he comes as Shahani crosses the line. There we go, Sebastian Fontaine pulls to the line. The Dutch driver currently sitting in second place in qualifying with an 85. So an 85 for Sebastian Fontaine. As you can see how far down the championship he is at the moment. He is almost halfway down. So no chance of winning the championship this year, but he could very much disrupt the points and get himself a podium. Sebastian Fontaine sits in the car awaiting his run. And he took number one. Well, will he be number one tonight? Lights on, through the gears he goes, head down, flicks across the circuit. Oh, wow, big snap to angle. And Sebastian Fontaine fires it into the outside zone. Midline, no, not as deep as we'd like to see him. Neon's on as he washes towards the wall. Fontaine hammers through the centre of the circuit, transitions off throttle, gets back into it, picks up that front clipping point. Nice line down onto the outside zone. Foot brake fully flat to the floor as he transitions once again. Little dab of the handbrake, slows the back end down on the foot brake into the outside zone he goes. As Sebastian Fontaine looks for the wall and across the line. So there we go, incredible run for Sebastian Fontaine. Currently sitting second in qualifying. Can he do some damage to Ham taking first place in qualifying at the moment? That's as things stand. And there we go, you can see all that oil spill down from Manji earlier on tonight in that JZ powered Toyota GT86. And we await for our next contender. It will be Ali Al-Balushi up next, Lalu. And there he is in the background. Balushi confused to of where he's going, but unfortunately due to that oil spill we've had to move these guys over. So Lalu and the V8 S13. There we go, door slam shut. The smoke starts to lift and we will be ready to send Balushi for his second qualifying run. So, not sure what's going on. Slight discussion between our marshals on circuit. And you can see big screen in the paddock, a lot of the drivers down there watching on, seeing the scores, seeing the runs, seeing what they have to contend with. Ali Maxi down there, Haytham Al Hadidi. Oh, so drivers discussing the Sebastian Fontaine run. I'm not sure why, but we will get some feedback, and if you tune in tomorrow, I'll have a chat with all the judges tonight over some food, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what they were thinking on some of these qualifying runs, where guys were going right, where guys were going wrong. And I've had a lot of golden buzzer moments in my life, but tonight I kind of golden buzzered a few drivers, including UK's very own Bagsy, and he didn't qualify as high as what I presumed. I did question the judges, and there were a few points, but anyway, back into it. Ali Al Balushi off the line. V8 S13 through the gears, and Balushi, Lalu, a local hero, struggles with that initiation, gets himself into the outside zone, on throttle now as Lalu gets himself up close to the camera as he flicks across the circuit, picks up that front clipping point perfectly, just knocks it down with a bumper. That did upset his line ever so slightly into the outside zone. Once again, nice collection of that front clipping point. Lalu transitions back, gets himself into the outside zone, needs to be a little bit deeper to get some higher points. Oh, and shuts it down. Oh, man. And that was on for a good run there from Lalu. So, that will be a 0 for Lalu. And he has removed himself clear off the circuit, no need for a recovery. They look promising. You could just see the wheel speed slow down on the replay angle that I'm looking at up here in the control tower. We move it along. Hussein Mohammed Masumani from the Lebanon. LSA supercharged V8 underneath the bonnet, this BMW E46. So Lebanon being represented by Hussein Masoumani. And once again our marshal just waiting potentially for the smoke to clear. And here we go. Hussein Masoumani comes off the line. And the bonnet flapping. Flicks it across the track. Gets a little catch of understeer. Could have been a strong run if it wasn't for that wobble. Still in it though, as Masoumani runs a midline in that outside zone. Dials on the angle on the foot brake, looks for the transition, gets it done. Nice line into that front clipping point. Can he let it wash? He certainly can, as Masoumani collects the outside zone up on the wall, looks back for the front one. One more transition to go, one more outside zone to fulfill, as Masoumani very collected, very controlled as he gets on the throttle, just wanders in and out of that zone and across the line, but an over rotation across the line won't count. He will be able to keep that one, I do believe. So as our cameraman takes a walk down the grid, you can see Chihab there, Sergei Kremitz, Andreas Vasiliauskas, Al-Amri. A lot of media buzzing around down in the paddock. Driftworks' very own Martin Richards. There we go, back to the line it is. It's going to be Takizawa. Tsubasa Takizawa in this incredible Toyota Mark II. Gives a wave to the crowd, feeling confident after his first qualifying run. Where does he sit at the moment? And we are going to take a quick look. Car number 55 before we send him off the line. Nice initiation though, we'll get back to that one in a minute. Oh, big understeer. Big understeer for Takizawa. Has just to work now to get back into this one. A lot of points bled as Takizawa gets himself down through the centre of the circuit, looks for the transition. And Takizawa looks for that front clipping point, collects it. Currently sitting 8th in qualifying. Takizawa, nothing to lose, everything to gain. Foot flat to the floor, and Takizawa just can't improve on that first qualifying run. Nicholas Solomon up next, and this incredible E92 BMW. Fresh build for Solomon, drove it for the first time at round 1 of the OIDC. They've been slowly progressing the build and moving it along. And Nicholas Solomon feeling better and better every time he drives it, representing the USA, 25th place on his first qualifying run. Solomon through the gears, LS3, built LS3. Turbo and a very conservative initiation that hasn't put him on the nicest of lines in the outside zone, as Nicholas Solomon looks for a better transition, gets it dialed nicely last time, picks it up once again, looks down for the wall, dials on the angle, very nice, goes super deep. He's got to struggle now to pick up that front clipping point, and yeah, evades that one as Nicholas Solomon jumps on the throttle into that final outside zone, fully fulfills it, and across the line goes Solomon. Well, there we go. I can hear tyres being warmed up in the background. It is Nasser Al-Habali to make his way to the start line. Car number 14, 13th place, representing El Salvador. Oh, and he just knocks over the bucket of sand as he gets himself to the start line. Looked like he'd driven through a big puddle of water down there. So this was a very nice qualifying run, his first one. What can he do this time? As I mentioned, '13th place. Can he improve? Shocked everyone. Representing El Salvador, Nasser Al-Habali, gets into it. I think his nerves are playing into this one a little bit as he starts to wander on the edge of the outside zone. Not as committed this time as he looks to dial on some angle for the transition. Walks back across once again, just tickles the outside edge of that box. Gets the rear wheel in to that outside zone, picks up the front one, looking good now as Nessa starts to get comfortable, dabbles the foot brake, gets into the outside zone. And I don't think this is going to be an improvement on his first qualifying run. It was a very nice first qualifying run from the young man from El Salvador. Well, here we go. Mentioned it before, I'm going to say it again, and I won't stop saying it. The hottest property that Ukraine has at the moment. The youngest drift talent, a superstar. It will be Timur Lipski and this BMW E46 2JZ. And I heard rumours of a new car being built by the Lipski crew. We will find out more about that in future months, but for now, we concentrate on what machinery he has. And I know a lot of Ukrainians are going to be excited to see this young man back in action again here in Oman. Just went out at the last round due to a little bit of inexperience against Bagsy. But nevertheless, Timur Lipski will be building that confidence, building that experience every single turn of the wheel. There he goes, second qualifying run, through the gears he goes, flames. Bang in from underneath the car. Nice initiation. Very wide. Can he hold it in there? Certainly can. As Lipski puts foot flat to the floor. He painted the bumper onto the wall last time, and he almost does it again as Lipski goes hammering past the camera. Big transition coming up. Dials on the angle. Picks up that front clipping point. Lipski full throttle transition. I haven't seen smoke stop appearing from the back of this BMW yet. Can he do it once again on this transition? Of course he can. A little dab of the handbrake as he gets himself back into it. In the outside zone goes Timur Lipski as Lipski at the moment rounds out the top 10 in qualifying, and I'm pretty sure he just held on to that spot. So there we go. Timo Lipski completes out his second qualifying run. And in style, he does it. Up next will be Mohammed Hamdan, aka Bullseye. As we await to see the Malaysian driver pop up on our screens, here he is, representing Malaysia. It is, of course, Bullseye, Mohammed Hamdan. In this Vector S15, 2JZ underneath the bonnet. And Hamdan, very, very happy, a very likeable character, a super nice guy. And Mohammed sits in the car ready to rock and roll. 16th place, so sits halfway in the top 32 at the moment. You'll be happy with that. So there we go. Bullseye awaits the thumbs up. We wait for the smoke to clear off the circuit. And we will send Mohammed Hamdan away for his second qualifying run of the night. As I say, sits in the middle of the top 32 at the moment. Thumbs up, car into gear. And away he goes. Bullseye, Malaysia representing as he comes through the gears. Down for the initiation, nice early flick, washes the car up into the outside zone, bounces around, he just about holds on to it, lets it wobble a little bit before he gets back on the throttle. Down he comes onto the wall, through the centre of the circuit, transitions now, picks up that front clipping point, gets a very nice piece of that outside zone as he dials on the angle, collects that front clipping point. Bullseye chucks it across the track once again, into that outside zone. Nicely done here from Bullseye as he gets it across the line and takes it home. Riyad Al-Mabsali, big grin on his face, very nice guy, and he has been improving no end in this Toyota Supra. We see him in action at round 2, and I think he shocked pretty much everyone in the tower how much he's progressed in this car and how well he has come along as a driver. But he did make a mistake on his first qualifying run, and I'm not sure where he sits. So he currently sits in 17th place, so not that bad. That mistake deemed not that bad for the judges. And there we go, off the line, Riyad Al-Mabsali. Big flick, very wild, goes for it this time, no understeer issues, no messing around, gets himself in that outside zone. Mabsali, full throttle, you can see him trying to work the foot brake. Big car to keep in those outside zones. Mabsali nailed this transition last time and he nails it once again. As he comes down, looks for the wall, looks for the outside zone, gets it dialed. Mabsali, look at this, perfect angle. He's allowed to catch those cones, don't get it twisted. As he comes through the centre of the circuit, looks for the outside zone once again. And Riyad Al-Mabsali, the Omani national, doing an incredible job. So there we go, Mabsali getting the job done, securing his spot potentially in 17th in top 32. Run 2 up next for Mohammed Chiab from the UAE, representing the Pro Drift Academy. This young man said to me earlier, drifting's a new thing to me. He said, I've been doing rallying and all sorts of other forms of motorsport. Now I turn my hand to drifting in this incredible C6 Corvette. So Chiab waits for the thumbs up. Not sure what the hold up is. Not a lot of smoke on track, to be honest with you. And there we go. There is the thumbs up, and away he goes. Chia Pro Drift Academy, Z06 Corvette. Nice job done on that outside zone. Look at this, very tidy. Keeps it wild, keeps it wide as he goes to the wall. Riding that foot brake, he's close on the inside though. Can he pick up that front clipping point? No, left it too late on that transition. He was in the wrong position on the track to transition. Gets it back, gets it dialed on that front clipping point. Now needs to claw back some lost points on that front zone. Drops a wheel in, stays on the foot brake across the line. Decimates the cone as well. Here we go, move it back to the start line. Hazar Al Hassani now in this carbon Kevlar Boss kitted Nissan 206 S14. And we are working our way dangerously close to our top 10 drivers. And this car looking very bad and bruised, but their last event this weekend here in Oman before the long off-season awaits. And most of these guys will make their way to the Red Bull Car Park Drift. But up next, Hazar Al Hassani, car number 43. And there we go, away he comes. Full carbon Kevlar S14 Boss kitted car. Big aggression, big power, big noise. Can he make it happen? Nicely done on that initiation. Gets the car set up nicely in that outside zone. Stays in the same line all the way round. As he looks for the transition, gets it done. A flame licks up the rear wheels as he gets back on the throttle again. Big flame again. Outside zone collected very nicely. Front clipping point, job done. Big flames once again, but he slowed the car down massively there on the handbrake. Judges will be taking a look at that. Gets into the outside zone, dabs the foot brake across the line. So Andreas Vasiliauskas now pulls to the line and he waves to his friends and family. And Vasiliauskas at the moment 11th place in qualifying. As I mentioned, says he struggles a little bit with some tyres on the back of this car. Makes incredible horsepower. This E92 BMW S55 turbo underneath the bonnet. Full carbon Kevlar. And you'll see more of Andreas Vasiliauskas in the Drift Masters European Championship later on this year, all across Europe. So judges just still trying to make a decision on that last run. And there we go, yeah. And Vasiliauskas just having a word with our start line marshal. Not sure what is going on there. So Vasiliauskas, the Lithuanian driver, sits patiently awaiting his second qualifying run of the day. And there we go. Our start line marshal steps back and allows clear run of the track for Vasiliauskas. And as he goes for a tentative initiation, hoping to try and score a little bit higher here. The judge is saying aggression was the key for Vasiliauskas at round 2. Unfortunately, just lacked a little bit of it. And Vasiliauskas right now looking a little bit tentative, a little bit too smooth and consistent. And I know buttery smooth is what we're looking for, but we want that aggression. We want that style to come through. And unfortunately, I think Vasiliauskas is just taking this one a little bit too easy. He's making it look too easy for the judges. He puts the back end of that car on the wall and across the line. So Sergey Kremitz pulls to the line. Toyota, Lexus, IS200, Mercedes-Benz M104 turbocharged engine underneath the bonnet of this car. And Kremitz looking super strong, confident in practice. Unfortunately, in qualifying, only managed to get into 19th place. So Kremitz, not on the ropes, comes alive in the battles, but would like to be a little bit higher up to see what he can do as a Ukrainian driver now awaits a run down. You can see the smoke lingering. This is what we wait for. We wait for the smoke to just clear ever so slightly, just to allow our judges and our cameramen to keep track of what is going on circuit. Sergey Kremitz in the No Motors Race Corp IS200 awaits his shot on the circuit. So, Sergey Kremitz is our last driver out of the top 10, and here he goes, gets the thumbs up. Kremitz off the line, down through the gears, flames erupt from the wing, an incredible sight. Oh! And I love the style, but I don't like the line. Unfortunately, Sergey Kremitz fires himself out of the outside zone, and Kremitz now having to make it up as he flirts dangerously the back end of IS200 on the wall, transitions back. Kremitz looks for that front clipping point, gets it. Very nice job, but he's going to sacrifice a little bit of that outside zone. Now makes his way around, picks up the second front clipping point, transitions back. Kremitz looking a little bit more aggressive this time as he goes deep on this zone. Look at that wheel on the edge of the circuit, and the Ukrainian gets the job done. So there we go, Sergey Kremitz takes himself off track, and we go back to the start line to the UK's very own Martin Richards, the Driftworks Holtec Velino tyre R32 Nissan Skyline, the oldest competing car in Europe, I do believe. Don't hold me to it, I could be wrong, but there we go. Martin Richards, I said it earlier on, looking cool as a cucumber in his profile picture, but as hot as a habanero inside that car. And Martin Richards as red as a chili pepper, gives a fist bump to the camera and says he's ready for action, feeling confident. Richards currently sitting in 5th place in qualifying, out-qualified his UK teammate Bagsy. And Richards had some unfortunate runs so far here in the Middle East, and he said, right now I'm just going to go have some fun, finish up the event, finish up the championship with a smile on my face. And our start line marshal just wanders over to have a quick word with Martin Richards. I do believe probably warning him of that oil and allowing the smoke to clear. Here we go. Richards off the line. Driftworks, Felino tyres, Holtec ECU, R32, Nissan Skyline. Big initiation, flicks it right across the circuit. Richards on the edge of the tarmac. This is good for Martin Richards right now. Look at this on the foot brake. He's going to be in the wall. Wow! Drags the wing along the wall as Richards now sets himself up for the transition, collects that front clipping point. Down he comes onto that wall, nails the outside zone. Richards dials on the angle, picks up that front clipping point. One more transition to go. Richards could be looking at a top 3 finish here tonight. Goes a wheel on the edge of the circuit, but he just about holds onto it, onto the wall and across the line. Whoa, Martin Richards means business in Oman. Wow, serious business from Martin Richards, not messing around this evening. That first wall run was picture perfect as Martin Richards puts that car all in the right places And what a run from Martin Richards. Incredible stuff. Was that enough to climb him higher? As I mentioned earlier, 5th in qualifying at the moment. We start breaking down the top 10 of the championship right now. Up next, it will be Ahmed Al Amri. So Ahmed Al Amri pulls to the line. And Ahmed Al Amri, the Omani national, currently sitting 3rd in qualifying, doing an incredible job. The V2 performance Nissan 200SX S13. And Ahmed Al Amri feeling super confident. You can see that exhaust pipe hanging out of either side of the front bumper. Thumbs up to the cameraman. So here we go. Amri off the line, 3rd in qualifying at the moment. Can he improve? He's going to go for it for sure. Nice initiation, gets that rear wheel on the edge of the track. Stays in the outside zone. You can hear him absolutely flat to the floor. Gets the wing up and close and personal with that camera as he looks for the transition. Can he get it right? He certainly can. Picks up that front clipping point. Ahmed Al Amri now looking confident as he gets deep in outside zone. 5 on the rear there. Picks up that front clipping point. 1 more final outside zone to go. And Ahmed Al Amri completely fulfills it as he gets himself into that zone and across the line. Ahmed Al Amri coming alive this weekend. On the line next, Rostislav Rarahovsky. Where's my Ukrainian fans at? This young man burst onto the scene last year at the Drift Masters European Championship, made a name for himself, and now finds himself here in Oman in this 2JZ powered Toyota GT86. One of the quickest cars on circuit. You see that carbon Kevlar body kit, the carbon Kevlar door. Rostislav not messing around. And Rostislav looking confident as our start line marshal steps out of the way. Rostislav waits to get the thumbs up to go. And here we go, Rostislav through the start line. Quickly gets himself on the right side of the circuit. Goes for a nice initiation. Always going to be low though, Rostislav. Sacrificing this outside zone now. You can see him working. Jabbed the handbrake, trying to get himself back into it. Got a pace though with this little GT86. Transitions back through, collects the front clipping point. Rarahovsky on throttle, looking for that front clipping point now as he stands on the accelerator to push himself across the circuit. Rarahovsky working the magic at the wheel. He goes wide, just about keeps it on track, but very strange end to the run. So there we go. We wait for the tyres to be warmed up, and we have a look for where Rarahovsky currently sits. 12th place in qualifying. It was until that moment, so we'll see if he improved. We go back to the start line. It will be Tariq Al-Shahani. Second half of the Shahani brothers. Managed to get himself in 4th place in qualifying once again. Consistency is the key. 4th place at round 2 and 4th place at the moment at round 3. And Tariq Al-Shahani looking very, very focused in that incredible orange and carbon fibre Nissan 200SX S13, Chevrolet LSX underneath the bonnet, V8 Gen V throttle bodies supplying the oxygen to the engine. And we await for Tariq Al-Shahani to make his way off the line. Here he goes, lights up the tyres. Shahani looking strong in the championship. What can he do? This car looks like it's on rails as he washes off the back edge of the circuit. Has to think about it, gets himself back into it. As Shahani now works his magic in the cockpit of this S13, dials that car on that front clipping point, on the foot brake he goes. Gets the car picked up nicely on the outside zone, dials on the angle. Shahani, look at that concentration, turns the steering wheel, gets the car set up for the outside zone. Look at that perfect line into the outside zone, as Shahani looking rock solid across the line. Well, here we go. Haytham Al Hadidi sits on the line, the Omani national. First place qualifier, round 2. Left the competition due to engine failure. Can he get right up there again? Big flick. Look at the way the car washes across the circuit. Hadidi foot flat to the floor, looking strong. The Red Bull driver, the car park drift champion, looking ever so good right now as he gets up onto the wall. Looks for the transition back now. Big flame erupts out the back of that S15. Locks up the front wheel. Hadidi deep in the outside zone. Dials on the angle. Hadidi wants it. He's hungry for a spot in the top 3 in qualifying. Can he get there? Hadidi looking stronger than ever as Hadidi puts the back bumper and the wing over the wall and across the line. So here we go, Q8 on the line. Ali Maxid gives a nod to the start line marshal. He's ready to rock and roll. 5th in the championship at the moment. Maxid, 2JZ Toyota GT86. Now Maxid gets the thumbs up. Away he goes. Second qualifying run. What can Maxid do? Where is he at the moment? 27th. Maxid needs to improve. All the cameras hanging off the back. Gets the rear wheel in. He drops in and out. The camera goes out of focus. No one knows what's going on. As Ali Maxid takes the back end of the 86 as close as he dare to the wall. Brings the front across, picks up that front clipping point perfectly as Maxid, sacrifices that outside zone. He now starts to fall apart. Can Maxid hold it together? He gets himself back into it, drives for his own smoke. Perfect line into this outside zone as Maxid dances with the devil across the line. We head back down towards the start line. Well, where another driver slots his way in, car number 39. So it will be Namne. So Hamza Nameh on the line, ready to go in the car. Named the Virus, a V8 BMW E46. And we await for him to get the all clear to run. Yep, representing Jordan, sorry, comes off the line. And we will take a look at where he scored in a moment. looks like. Gets himself nicely dialed in the outside zone. Struggled to get there at the first. And you can see him on the foot brake now. Working that E46 BMW around the circuit. Picks up that front clipping point. Lot of steering inputs though as he struggles now to get himself on a clean line. Picks up that front clipping point as he transitions back. Can he get himself into the outside zone? Or he just struggles, slows the car down massively. And at the moment, he is 29th place. Not sure if that's enough to improve or where he sits. Here we go, back to the schedule. We go, it will be Ahmed Daham, your current top qualifier. Sits 4th in the championship. He's hungry for it. He wants some silverware to take back to Dubai where he lives at the moment, but the Jordanian wants a piece of the action. Representing Red Bull, 2JZ, Nissan 200SX S14, Daham sits on the line. His first qualifying run was nothing short of spectacular. Can he replicate it? Stupid question. Of course he can. Will he replicate it? Will he go for something even more special than that? Daham sits on the line. He waits for the thumbs up. We wait for the smoke to clear. Here we go. Daham gets the all clear. He slots the car into gear. He's off the line. Daham, first place qualifier at the moment. What can he do? Big flick across the track. He keeps a hold of it. He's not as deep as what he was before, and then he corrects it. Drops one wheel on the edge of the circuit. What can he do as Daham comes to the wall? Drags the back end once again along the wall as Daham flirts with danger. Puts the front end on the cone. Daham full throttle down into the outside zone. Not as deep as we'd seen before, but Daham works the front end up to that front clipping point. Ahmed Daham looks for the final outside zone. He gets there. He works the back end in as far as he dare, and across the line goes Ahmed Daham. Well, incredible job there for Ahmed Daham. We go back to the start line. Dutch, Netherlands represented. Clint Van Oort, Nissan Silvia S14. 2JZ under the bonnet. This car had extensive work in the last week at Swap Shop Oman. Those guys helping out a lot of international drivers get their cars fixed, back up, ready for action. What can Clint Van Oort do? 3rd in the championship. Can he make some damage tonight? Can he claw back some lost points? Well, Clint Van Oort, 24th place at the moment. Needs to really make this one happen. So, judges still deliberating the Ahmed Daham run. So, here we go. Clint Van Oort off the line. Big handbrake drag on initiation. He's carrying a lot of speed, though. He's going to make it pay off. Clint Van Oort in that outside zone. Dialed on some nice angle. Up he comes, up onto the wall. Clint Van Oort getting it job done. Transitions, looks nice for that front zone. Here he comes now down into the outside zone. Collects it this time. No messing around. Van Oort wants to be up there in that top 3. Can he get there? He's got a lot of tough competitors to go through as Clint Van Oort gets himself in to this outside zone. Starts to assert all the power to the rear wheels, and across the line goes the Dutch driver. So there we go. Clint Van Oort gets the job done. Across the line he goes. We move it back to the start line. At the moment, 6th place for this young man, Steve Bagsy Biagioni. The Monster Energy ST suspension, PS13. Bagsy, your current 2nd place points holder. What can he do? Baggsy disappointed with his first qualifying run score, said that he felt it deserved a little bit more. Well, we're about to find out what he has to answer for there. Smiles to the camera as Baggsy awaits to get the signal from our start line marshal. On a lot at stake this weekend. Benedictus Cherba right below him in 7th place in qualifying. Baggsy needs to put a little bit of space between him and Cherba to try and make this one play out a little bit easier in top 32. So start line marshal saying, are you good to go? Door slams shut, car slams into gear. The start line marshal gives Baggsy the thumbs up. Here we go. Baggsy off the line, through the gears. He's angry, he's hungry, he wants better, he wants to score better. Look at this, nice on the handbrake, gets himself into the outside zone. He says, you want me on the white line? I'll put the car to the furthest part of the white line. You want me on the wall? I'll be in the wall. Drags the wing along the wall as Baggsy answers all the questions the judges has. Want me to take down the cones? I'll take down the cones. Want me in this wall? I'll get in this wall. Baggsy replies to all the questions asked by our 3 judges in the judging panel. He says, what question next? I have all the answers as the UK driver puts the rear wheel in and on the wall and across the line goes Baggsy. Wow. He said, you've got questions, I've got answers. Steve Baggsy Biagioni gets the job done and takes it back to the paddock. Well, here we go. Your current points and championship leader. 7th in qualifying at the moment. He just witnessed what Baggsy put down and he says, well, I got a lot to do. Can I do it? Is the car healthy? Is it right? This is going to play out tomorrow. How is it going to play out tomorrow? Top 32 is going to be interesting. Benedictus Cherba, Lithuania, sit on the line. BMW E36 3UZ Turbo. What can Benedictus Cherba do right now? We're about to find out. We wait to get that all clear. So here we go. Benedictus Cherba sits on the line. Only a couple of practice runs under his belt. Not the best qualifying run in his first run, as I said. Cherba 7th place, 80.7. He needs to improve. Baggsy just laid down an incredible run. It's between him and Baggsy and DeHaan for the championship right now. And those 2 guys are laying some killer qualifying runs. Cherba needs to make it happen. What can he do? Cherba goes for a big opposite flick. The car didn't react. He has to wait to get back into it. But now Cherba gets it in, gets on it, gets on that white line as Benedictus Cherba finds the outside edge of the circuit, takes the back end of that BMW towards the camera, looks for the transition, slows the car down on the foot brake, picks it up perfectly. Can he get to the outside wall? Of course he can. Absolutely flying is Benedictus Cherba as he picks up that front clipping point. Big flick across the track. You see him work the steering wheel as Cherba gets into the outside zone, but he's not as deep. Cherba's not as deep as he takes it across the line, and that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, qualifying done. Lithuania across the line. Cherba did everything he could. Want to know more? Want to find out more? Well, we will let you know more as soon as it happens. Don't forget, if you want to tune in tomorrow to Top 32 action, we will be live at 4 p.m. local time here in Oman for Top 32. It is not to be missed. But there you go. That is our qualifying session done and dusted. We will decide our Top 32 once our judges and our scoring panel upstairs do the maths. Keep an eye on all our social media channels for all the updates from myself here in Oman and all the team. We'll catch you tomorrow at 4 p.m. for Top 32 action. It's going to be incredible.
شكر لكم جماهيرنا عشاق رياضة المحركات على حضوركم، كل شكر لمن تابع طبعا هذا النقل المباشر عبر القنوات الجمعية العمانية للسيارات في الفيسبوك بالتعليق باللغة العربية، وكذلك في اليوتيوب بالتعليق باللغة الإنجليزية. كل الشكر لمعالي العام بن محمد المرشد لرئيس جهاز الاستثمار العماني تشريفه للحضور عندنا في الحلبة ومتابعة هذه التصفيات بمعية طبعا العميد سالم بن علي بن خليفة المسكري رئيس مجلس إدارة الجمعية العمانية للسيارات، الدخول الاول كان ما كان ذاك عنده اعطال ميكانيكيه عبد الله طبعا، فحتى الدخول الثاني هذا الحين في اعطال ميكانيكيه. اذا كل الشكر للاخوه الحاضرين، وكل الشكر كذلك للاخوه المتابعين في النقل المباشر على قنوات الجمعيه العمانيه للسيارات في اليوتيوب والفيسبوك باللغتين العربيه والانجليزيه، وكذلك هناك رابط خاص ونقل خاص باللغه الروسيه كذلك دول او المتابعين طبعا في دول شرق القاره الاوروبيه، وبالتالي 3 لغات تنقل هذا الحدث باللغه العربيه واللغه الانجليزيه وكذلك اللغه الروسيه. شكرا لكم ايها الساده الكرام. اذا نشوف طبعا النتائج، احمد دحام طبعا في المركز الاول، سيباستيان فونتين في المركز الثاني، احمد العامري في المركز الثالث، طارق الشيهاني في المركز الرابع، مارتن ريتشاردز في المركز الخامس، ستيف باتسي في المركز السادس، تاكيزاوا في المركز السابع، هيثم الحديدي في المركز الثامن، لايبسكي في المركز التاسع، وفاسيلياسكس في المركز العاشر. شاهد أيضا في الشاشة الآن نبين عندكم أيها السادة المشاهدين طبعا ترتيب العشرة الأوائل المتأهلين طبعا للدور 32. بعد غيرها أكيد هناك 22 سابق راح ينضموا لهؤلاء العشرة المسافرين دور 32 راح ينطلق غدا ان شاء الله على الساعة 4 أو 10 دقائق بإذن الله تعالى. واكيد لمتابعة منافسة من المتأهلين وعليكم سوى متابعة صفحات الجمعية العمانية للسيارات في الفيسبوك والانستغرام والتويتر، وكل المعلومات ان شاء الله يعني تكون جاهزة. ايضا بالنسبة للتذاكر هناك طبعا تباع التذاكر. بالنسبه لاسعار التذاكر 3 ريالات بالنسبه لكل المدرجات العامه، وكذلك بالنسبه لمدرج العائلات 15 ريال بالنسبه للمدرج الخاص. اذا كذا انتهينا من التصفيات، ونلتقيكم غدا باذن الله تعالى، والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of it. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't slay. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo. Watch how I get ahead. ahead, watch how I get ahead, watch how I get ahead. Watch how I set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch how I get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare, I'm a line, but the one up on the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah.
Second round and I am first. It's amazing. I am feeling it's very amazing.
بشكر الجمعية العمانية على البطولة هاي الرائعة اللي بيعملوها بالشرق الأوسط وبيعطونا الفرصة لنقدر ننافس مع أبطال العالم وأبطال الشرق الأوسط. استنونا بالجولة الثالثة وإن شاء الله نجيب المركز الأول.
Round 3, see you soon.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know I'm the man. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream that we're coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out.